In the deep blue sky, a mysterious object tore through space, rushing towards Earth. Suddenly, a giant vortex appeared amid the brilliant and terrifying clouds, drawing every gaze below in astonishment. People panicked at the strange phenomenon, whispers spreading everywhere. "Quick, go see what that is. Is it a UFO?" Suddenly, from the center of the vortex, a giant snake emerged with a massive body, its head covered in sharp spikes, landing in the middle of the city. The crowd was horrified. Screams echoed, "Snake! It's a snake!" The scene instantly turned chaotic. People trampled over each other, fleeing in panic. "Wah, Mom, where are you? Run quickly! Please, everyone, save my child!" The cries for help mixed with explosions shaking everywhere. "Run, the apocalypse is here!" The giant snake opened its mouth wide, sharp fangs flashing as it bit unlucky bystanders still busy filming. Since the spatial cracks appeared, beasts from everywhere poured in, occupying almost all of Lam Tin's land and ocean. The spiritual energy on this planet gradually recovered, awakening the hidden talents within humans. They began training to become martial artists, fighting beasts to protect mankind. Thanks to that, safe zones were established, maintaining fragile peace for about 15 to 20 years. In 2030, Lam Tin City, inside a small old eatery with the faint smell of grease in the air, a tall man entered, speaking clearly. "Boss, I left the meal money on the table." The owner replied, "Got it, take your time." Soon after, another muscular man entered and plopped down on a chair. "Yes, as usual, 4 bowls of rice, 1 scrambled egg with tomato, and 1 braised pork." A voice echoed from the kitchen. "All right, Uncle Hu, sit up front. Hurry up, you're starving." Minutes later, a young man with a bright appearance carried a mountain of food out with a cheerful smile. "Uncle Hu, how was the harvest at Huangyuan this time?" The old tiger sighed, eyes weary. "Don't mention it, we had a pretty good haul, but unexpectedly ran into a boar king-level beast. That monster went crazy, ramming several houses. Even our hideout got leveled. If we hadn't escaped into the subway, who knows what would have happened." He hesitated at that. Jang Han sensed the unease and asked, "What's wrong, Uncle Hu?" The old tiger lowered his voice deep. "Just that your Uncle Lai lost an arm to that beast when he tried to stop it." Hearing that, Jang Han's expression dropped, sadness creeping in. In these chaotic times, life and death are just a breath away. Losing an arm is not unusual. "Let me go stew some chicken soup for Uncle Lai," he said firmly but calmly. "No rush, little Jang, right?" The old tiger put his arm around him, pulling him to sit, teasing. "If I remember right, you're about to turn 18, huh? Are you about to awaken your talent?" Jang Han nodded softly. "Uncle Hu, I just turned 18 last week, and already awakened." The old tiger's eyes widened with curiosity. "So what talent did you awaken?" Jang Han turned away, hesitating. "Key-grade heavy strike." A guy at the next table laughed mockingly. "Huh! C-grade isn't the lowest talent rank." Another person at this table chimed in, Chief Dai drinking again. "What's there to laugh about? Aren't you also C-grade?" "Can't hold your liquor," called out his friends, and Chief Dai awkwardly laughed. "Ha ha, that's right. Most people with C-grade talent never become martial artists in their lifetime. They can only stay within safe zones, drink, to drown their sorrows, and live roughly in this beast-ravaged world." Hearing this, the old tiger's gaze darkened briefly. Disappointment swelled inside. Perhaps at that moment he just wanted to cut his sorrow in half like a decisive blade. The old tiger saw Chief Dai just say, "Angry," stood up suddenly, grabbed the guy's collar, and shouted, "What nonsense are you talking about, Chief Dai?" Raising his glass, Chief Dai smiled foolishly. "I'm not drunk, 1, 2, 3, cheers. 1, 2, 3, drink." Jang Han quietly stood up and walked toward the kitchen. Uncle Hu called out, "Go stew the soup for Uncle Lai," his voice still ringing. Still a dutiful kid, heavy strike isn't bad, there's still hope. Knowing Uncle Hu was just comforting him, Jang Han entered the kitchen, gripping the chicken knife tightly, thinking, what hope is there with a C-grade talent? One hand held the chicken, the other raised the knife, the steel blade flashing blood, splattering feathers falling everywhere. Suddenly a notification sounded in his head. Killed 1 chicken, gained 1 experience point. Current experience points, 1 out of 1. A C-rank critical talent begins with proficiency plus 1 current proficiency, 1 out of 100. Jang Han was stunned, not yet understanding what was happening when the system continued to announce, "Online game system connection successful. New player gift delivered. New player gift opened. Congratulations, host received system warehouse items, 1 cultivation experience card, 1 talent upgrade card. A 3D image shimmered before Jang Han, who looked around in amazement. Online game system. An information panel flashed before Jang Han, leaving him stunned. Host Jang Han, combat power, 325 level 1, strength 25 agility, 23 constitution, 26 spirit, 17. Attribute points available, 4 experience points. Required to upgrade 1 out of 1,000. Current talent level, C. Critical rank. 1. Current items. Cultivation experience card, X1 talent upgrade. Card, X1. Still gripping the chicken butcher knife tightly, Jang Han was dazed and confused. Combat power 325 points, is this a system control panel? Suddenly a prompt appeared. Do you want to put the object in front into the system space? He hesitated slowly, reaching out to touch the floating button. Instantly, all notification panels vanished, but a mysterious storage space appeared before Jang Han's eyes, making him stare in astonishment. Could this be the system's space? Glancing inside, he saw 2 sparkling items with clear notes. Cultivation experience card, X1 after use for 3 hours, experience points and talent proficiency from killing monsters double. Talent upgrade card, X1 after use, talent increases by 1 level. Jang Han scratched his head, muttering, talent can be upgraded. How have I never heard of this before? He knew well that talent after awakening was fixed, determining potential to become a martial artist. If talent can be upgraded, doesn't that mean he also has a chance to rise? He thought so. Jang Han didn't hesitate. Reaching out to grab the upgrade card immediately, asked if he wanted to use the talent upgrade card. He decisively replied yes, successfully upgrading the talent. 4 C rank critical talents upgraded to B rank. Focused Strike. Focused Strike attack has a 30% chance to trigger, creating triple damage power. The information panel updated instantly, leaving Jang Han stunned. What's going on? Not only did the talent upgrade to B rank, but combat power also surged by 191 points to reach 519.6. Overwhelmed with joy, Jang Han found it hard to contain himself. 6 years of hard training only brought his combat power to 325, yet 1 card helped him surpass that limit. But then he took a deep breath to calm down and frowned, muttering, what exactly is this online game system? The system silently disappeared as if it never existed. Jang Han raised both hands, feeling the surging power flowing through his body, thinking that indeed this feeling was much stronger than before. Holding the cleaver, he faced the chopping board full of food as usual, swung the knife with accustomed force, but this time the blade sliced through the air and easily split the chopping board in half, plunging deep into the table and leaving a deep crack. Damn it! Jang Han's eyes widened in shock, not yet recovered when the system sounded again. A B-rank talent triggered a critical attack proficiency plus 1 current proficiency, 2 out of 500. Cold sweat broke out. He looked at the blade, thinking if he used it on a demon beast, it would definitely cause significant wounds. Outside, the old tiger's voice could be heard on the phone. It's not that I don't want to go, but after old Lee got injured, the team lost a marksman. If we charge in again, I'm afraid we'll run into trouble before completing the mission. All right, then, we'll set off in 3 days. I'll contact some friends to see if any marksmen can come with us to the wilderness. Jang Han stepped out curiously and asked, Why, Tiger Uncle, does everyone want to go to the wilderness? Old Tiger nodded and sighed. Yes. Didn't I just say? When we got back from the wilderness after meeting the Boar King, all our equipment was lost. Now we don't have the materials to avoid breaching the contract. Your dragon uncle is planning to go again, he said, as he accepted a food box and stood up to leave. Now that Uncle Lee is injured, we no longer have a marksman. Yes. Jang Han followed his voice firm. Tiger Uncle, I hope I can help everyone. Old Tiger turned back, patted his shoulder encouragingly. Kid, you'll get your chance. All right, I'll head out first. Watching Old Tiger's retreating back, Jang Han clenched his fists, eyes blazing with determination. To reach the wilderness, his combat power must surpass 1,000, and he needs a martial artist certification. He silently vowed to find a way to level up quickly and raise his combat power. The scene shifts to a chicken farm in a messy corner of the farm filled with the smell of dry grass mixed with the clucking of chickens. Old Man Dat sees Jang Han approaching and immediately speaks, "Little Jang, why are you here today?" "If you hadn't come, I was going to find someone else for a part-time job." Jang Han scratches his head and smiles awkwardly. Dat, today I killed a few more chickens before coming to class, sorry, uncle." After saying that, the boy dashed inside on all fours. Old Man Dat watches him go and sighs deeply. Young people these days really are getting rarer and rarer, changing into work clothes. Jang Han, with 5 knives and sharp eyes, enters the chicken coop and quickly scans the area. He starts working. The blades swing precisely. The system immediately announces, "Spirit has used an experience card for cultivation, remaining time 259.59. Killed a normal hen experience +2. Another stroke kills a normal hen experience +2. Current experience 5,000 plus. One hit kill proficiency +2. Jang Han smirks silently. Haha, 1 chicken 2 experience points plus wages, this is a great deal. He continues swinging the knives like dancing, killing an old hen experience +2. Current experience 7,000 plus. Then he kills another old hen experience +2. Current experience 9,000 plus. After 2 hours of hard work, blades flashing chicken carcasses pile up at his feet. The system finally announces, "Congratulations, user experience points have reached 1,000 level up. Current level 2. Congratulations, user unlocked system task. Reward 100 free attribute points and 1 talent point." Sweating heavily, Jang Han stands up straight, summarizing his achievements finally leveled up. He is delighted. 100 free attribute points are an unexpected gift. Without hesitation, he distributes the points evenly among the attributes. System updates user Jang Han's combat power to 1208. Talent level 2, strength 50, agility 40. Old Man Dat pushes open the door and asks Jang Han, "How is it going?" He turns back and replies, "Ah, Uncle Dat." The old man looks at the pile of chicken carcasses on the ground, eyes wide and mouth agape, trembling. This young man risked his life for a little money. He slaughtered hundreds of chickens clean. Jang Han has finished changing and waves happily. "Work's done for today. I killed a few more chickens, the pay's not much, uncle. I'll leave first, gotta hurry to school." At the school gate, walking in, Jang Han is deep in thought. The task rewards an extra talent slot. But to awaken the second talent, he needs an awakening stone. Where would he find one? Suddenly, an arm slings over his shoulder, making him jump. "What are you thinking about?" old Jang worried. "It's Thung Hao, his close friend." "All right," Jang Han exhales in relief. "Hao, you scared me, so where can you buy awakening stones?" Thung Hao frowns in surprise. "Awakening stones? What do you need that for? Haven't you already awakened your talent?" Jang Han forces a smile. "I want to buy one to study, like adding to my collection." Thung Hao suddenly remembers something and says, "Right, old Jang Kung Chingu awakened an S-rank talent and got a special admission to Tui Mok University. Have you heard?" "Tui Mok University, that's a top school." Jang Han strokes his chin thoughtfully. Thung Hao is surprised. "No way those two are childhood sweethearts, didn't she tell you?" "Ah." Jang Han replies absent-mindedly, his tone calm as a breeze. "Oh, she awakened an S-rank talent and got specially recruited by top universities. That's normal." Thung Hao sits beside him, sighing eyes showing regret mixed with helplessness. "Yeah, after all, she did awaken an S-rank talent. Combat power directly soared over 2,000, while you only awakened a C-rank talent. In this life, breaking through 1,000 combat power is really tough." He shakes his head sadly. "Two people, one in heaven, one on earth." Hearing his best friend say this, Jang Han runs out of words and says, "If I were the old Jang Han, I'd feel insecure." Suddenly, a clear voice cuts through his thoughts. Jang Han turns and sees Kung Ching-U approaching. The envious gazes of the surrounding crowd seem to burn her. Jang Han says, "Come here for a moment." Surprised, he asks, "Why are you here?" Kung Ching-U crosses her arms, eyebrows slightly furrowed, voice a bit annoyed. "Why can't I come here? I'm also a student at this school." Thung Hao Lin sensed something was wrong, hurriedly stood up and forced a smile. "I have something to do, you two keep talking." With that, he slipped away quickly like lightning. Jang Han sat down, his eyes curious as he looked at her. "Didn't you get specially recruited? If something's wrong, tell me." Kung Chi-ngu exhaled softly, her voice gentle but still tinged with reluctance. Actually, I came this time to say goodbye to you, and to give you something. Tuimak University opened a training course for specially recruited students who have to go to Huang Nguyen for about 3 months. I won't return to school until the semester starts. As she spoke, she took out a small, exquisite box. This is for you. Jang Han reached out to take it, feeling a slight surprise in his heart. She smiled faintly. This is the reward Tuimak specially recruited me for. It's useless to me, so I have to give it to you. After saying that, Kung Chi-ngu turned and left, but her steps faltered. She looked back, her gaze firm. Also, I want to say, Jang Han, I know you're not the weak type. I will wait for you at Tuimak University. Jang Han opened the box. Inside was a martial technique book with the title Ninefold Thunderblade engraved on the cover. Suddenly, the system in Jang Han's head announced in a cold, mechanical voice, Detection of Superior Earth-Level Martial Technique. Jang Han was stunned, cold sweat dripping, as he silently marveled. Superior Earth-Level Martial Technique, one of the 4 great levels of heaven and earth mystical radiance. A martial technique like this is worth at least 50 million alliance coins. Kung Chi-ngu giving me this treasure, is it, so I can pass the entrance exam to Tuimak University? Thinking that Jang Han didn't hesitate and selected to learn the martial technique. The system immediately announced, Martial Technique learned successfully. Superior Earth-Level Martial Technique. Ninefold Thunderblade has been learned at level 6. Detected Martial Technique. Ninefold Thunderblade matches Aptitude Type, Focused Strike Level B. When using the martial technique, the chance to activate aptitude increases by 70%. The host can increase proficiency in the martial technique to raise the activation rate up to 100%. Jang Han raised his right hand, lightning crackling around it, sparkling like a miniature galaxy. Jang Han silently vowed, 1 strike all kill, perfectly matching the Ninefold Thunderblade's attribute. What's a 70% activation chance? Determined, his heart blazing, today when I join the martial artist assessment, I must try it out. Thinking this, Jang Han muttered, all right, it's decided. First, prove my identity as a martial artist. What if I buy a second aptitude awakening stone this afternoon at Tuimak University? Nothing's too hard for a will as bright as fire. Jang Han strode into the afternoon class. Jang Han arrived at the Martial Artist Assessment Guild Hall, where the battle between Dong Vim Su and Tik Kotruk Ho, 2 elite-level fierce beasts, was taking place. The atmosphere was lively and crowded, people lined up to register. Seeing Jang Han looking lost like he'd wandered into a deep forest, a girl approached in a gentle voice. First, fill out the registration form, then go over there to queue for power testing. When you're done, go upstairs for the real combat test. Thank you, Jang Han replied. His gaze scanned the crowd when suddenly a supervisor shouted, Look, that guy's strength exceeded 500 ki. The supervisor nodded approvingly. Good kid. Then he turned to the next person and loudly asked, Name, aptitude level. The supervisor asked sternly about the aptitude level. Jang Han answered calmly, Jang Han, aptitude level B. Then he gritted his teeth, took a deep breath, tensed his body, sucked in his hips, and unleashed a terrifying punch with all his strength. In an instant, the testing machine displayed the results. The supervisor stared at the numbers displayed, unable to help but exclaim, Damn, just 1 strike and 201, 108. The onlookers, mostly extras hiding in amazement, stammered, Is the machine broken or what? Inside, Jang Han was quietly thrilled, never expecting his days of hard training to bring such a breakthrough. The supervisor turned sharply to Jang Han and said, Choose your weapon and proceed to the next testing area. Without hesitation, Jang Han entered the room filled with equipment. After some inspection, he stopped at a short sword and dagger, feeling it fit perfectly in his hand, and grasped it tightly. It's time to test the Ninefold Thunderblade. 4 supervisors opened the door and stepped out sternly, reminding, There are certain risks in the real combat test. If you can't endure it, request to stop the test. I will appear. The system's voice coldly announced, Real combat test begins. Suddenly, a giant tiger bared its fangs and claws, lunging straight at him. Startled, he exclaimed, Damn it! Fortunately, quick reflexes helped Jang Han roll to the side just in time to dodge when the fierce tiger lunged again with its claws. He jumped back, increasing the distance. Those watching from the next room started whispering, "What is this angry guy, this bastard, still doing?" Another analyzed with a firm tone, "With his speed, even if he gets hit, he can still run to the door." Could it be he still wants to? At this moment, Jang Han tightened the knife in his hand, using the 9 layers thunderblade technique, and the aura around him suddenly changed. Spiritual power surged, tiny sparks of lightning gradually grew larger, shining brightly like flashes. Seeing this scene, the overseers outside couldn't help but stare in curiosity. What kind of martial skill is this? Inside the room, Jang Han faced the fierce tiger with sky-high confidence. He jumped up, shouted loudly, "I want to go to the wilderness to hunt strange beasts." Finishing his words like a flash, he slipped past the tiger. In the blink of an eye, the ferocious beast took a fatal blow. Its eyes, still wide open, mouth agape, revealing sharp fangs. Then it fell backward and slowly disappeared. Jang Han landed with a heroic pose like a superhero. The system immediately announced the proficiency level of the 9 layers thunderblade increased by 1, combined with the 1 mind strike causing massive damage. Jang Han was lost in thought when the evaluation sound rang out, "Real combat test completed, rating A+." The door opened and Overseer stepped in with a curious look. "Classmate, I was ranked A+, but that's a grade even warriors who have fought in Hoan Guin find hard to achieve. How did you do it?" Jang Han scratched his head awkwardly and replied, I don't know. I just happened to activate the talent when I swung the blade, that's all. Maybe it was just a coincidence." The Overseer continued calmly, "Well, you passed the warrior evaluation. Please put your weapon back and go to the 6th floor to receive your warrior certificate." Afterward, Jang Han left the Warrior Guild Hall holding the certificate with quiet joy. "Finally, I got the warrior certificate." But he quickly told himself to keep the A ranking a secret to avoid unnecessary trouble. Suddenly, from behind, a figure in a black cloak silently observed Jang Han, whispering, "Everything is just beginning." Meanwhile, at the strange materials market, Thuong Hao clapped men on the shoulder, smiling brightly. "Old Jang, this is the strange materials market. My pharmacy is on the 3rd floor. If you want to buy awakening stones, they're on the 1st floor." "Oh, then let's go straight to buy awakening stones," Jang Han replied. Thuong Hao curiously asked further, "By the way, old Jiang, what exactly does Quang Tri Ngu want to see you about?" Jang Han coldly answered, "Nothing important." Thuong Hao smirked teasingly. "If you don't say, I already know. Now the distance between you and her is too big. Why don't you buy some medicine to take? That way you might get into a better university, right?" Jang Han ignored him, pushed open the door, and asked, "Boss, do you sell awakening stones?" A salesgirl answered, "3rd shelf 500 alliance coins, feel free to choose." Jang Han pointed at a stone and asked, "Why is this one so cheap?" Thuong Hao calmly explained, "Each person can only awaken 1 talent, so awakening stones are rarely bought, making their price very low." "Oh, put that one aside and quickly pick one," Thuong Hao urged, then turned to old Jiang with a sparkling look. "Old Jiang, since we're here, how about stopping by the weapon shop? I want to change my weapon." Jang Han nodded, smiling excitedly. "Sure, I'm just short on weapons myself." Entering the shop, Jang Han focused intently on a short knife shining metallically. The shop owner saw an opportunity and immediately approached, enthusiastically advertising, "All short knives from this brand are made of alloy harder than steel, twice as good." Jang Han calculated silently, eyes lighting up. "With this knife, my strength points can increase by 50. Without hesitation, he asked, "I'll take it, how much?" The owner smiled broadly, 200 alliance coins. "Because it's made from blue steel alloy, the price is higher, but don't worry. Returns and exchanges are guaranteed within 3 months." Jang Han nodded decisively. "All right, wrap it up for me." Meanwhile, Thuong Hao had also finished choosing his weapon and curiously asked old Jiang, "What weapon did you buy?" Jang Han replied briefly with a confident smile, "A short knife." Thuong Hao widened his eyes, surprised and a bit doubtful. A short knife. It's not very useful for people with low talent." Jang Han shrugged with a carefree laugh. It's okay, I just bought it for fun. Then he glanced at the sky, his tone gentle but firm. It's late. Let's go home after shopping. Chang Hao scratched his head, looking puzzled, and muttered, All right. Back at home, Jang Han's heart flickered with sparkling hope. He thought to himself, quickly complete the second talent awakening. I wonder what talent I will awaken. Sitting and fiddling with the stone in his left hand, Jang Han's heart pounded excitedly, unable to hide it. Suddenly, the system's robotic cold voice rang out, Do you want to perform the second talent awakening? Jang Han didn't hesitate and pressed the yes button firmly. Immediately, a message appeared. The stone in his hand began to glow brightly like a blazing flame. The system continued to announce detected energy blocking the awakening. That energy has been automatically absorbed and stored. The energy burst from Jang Han's arm, spread throughout his body powerfully like a hot spring. A moment later, the system announced clearly, Talent Awakening completed. Congratulations to the owner for obtaining an A-level talent clairvoyance, automatically activates in combat mode, can see the weaknesses of all things clearly. What Jang Han was thrilled, his eyes shining like stars, an A-level talent. The first talent was only C-level, but the second talent is already A-level. He murmured excitement at flooding him. Attribute points in 4 categories increased by a total of 60 points. Combat power surged past 1,300. Laughing loudly, he told himself, I can finally go to the wild plains. In another corner, Old Long saw Old Tiger approaching and asked in a deep voice, Ah, Tiger, why hasn't the scout you're looking for arrived yet? Old Tiger sighed and replied, Old Lee is injured, it's urgent, and we can't find a scout. Old Dao heard this and roared angrily, Are you kidding me? You can't find any scout at all. Old Long quickly raised his hand to calm them with a calm tone. All right, I will take on the role of scout. Suddenly, Old Tiger's confident voice echoed, Your scouts are here. Old Tiger turned his head surprised and exclaimed, Little Han, have you come here to deliver food? Jang Han smiled brightly, carrying the lunchbox in his hand as he ran over, yelling, Uncle Tiger! I came to go to the wild plains with you, uncles. Old Tiger seriously placed both hands on Main's shoulders, his tone deep as he muttered, You know where the wild plains is, Little Han? No, you're not a warrior, don't just join for fun. Old Dao also spoke with a worried tone. That's right, Little Han. You are only a kid with a C-level talent. Why do you want to go there? Do you want to die? Jang Han calmly took out his badge. A confident smile spread on his lips. Yes, I am already a warrior. Holding the shining badge, the 3 old men were stunned, their eyes full of suspicion. This is proof that he really is a warrior. It was issued by the president of the Warriors Association. They exclaimed in unison, Little Han, what happened? Didn't you say you awakened a C-level talent? Jang Han thought silently. He couldn't reveal the system because even if he did, they wouldn't believe it. Immediately he smiled confidently, his tone a bit teasing. Uncle's actually what I awakened was a B-level attack talent, not heavy strike. I just wanted to surprise you. Old Tiger frowned, his face serious as he muttered, There's nothing surprising about that. Old Long quickly interrupted, his sharp eyes looking at Jang Han. Little Han, do you really want to go to the wild plains with us? Jang Han answered decisively, as if cutting iron. I really want to go not only to broaden my knowledge, but also to find my missing father. Besides, aren't you all short of scouts? I can do it. Hearing this, the 3 old men's faces briefly softened, their eyes filled with sadness. Jang Han smiled and continued confidently. The most important thing is that I can cook for everyone along the way. Yes, I have already packed a level 3 field station in my backpack. Old Tiger placed his hand on Jang Han's shoulder, his voice warm and serious. All right, we will let you come along, but you must agree to obey everyone when entering the wild plains. Jang Han nodded repeatedly, his eyes shining. Okay, all right, let's eat first. After eating, we will talk on the way. Old Long laughed loudly, patting Jang Han's shoulder. Right, I'm about to starve. This time we don't have to eat compressed biscuits on the way anymore. Yes, the 3 old men each took a lunchbox and ate greedily with satisfied looks. To get to the wild plains, they had to take a 4-hour train ride, Old Tiger reminded in a deep voice. There are some dangerous people on the train, be careful. Besides, Jang Han, your protective gear isn't sturdy enough, you should change to another one. You should also prepare a ring with the character Wu. Yes. Jang Han nodded immediately. All right, Uncle Hu. I'll remember. Then they looked for a place to sit. As the four of them walked away, a mocking voice rang out from behind. Oh, isn't that old Dao? What bringing this dumb rookie to the wilderness? I heard your mission this time isn't easy at all. With this dumb rookie, aren't you really afraid of failure? Old Dao turned around, his cold eyes responding without any respect. Li Yang, don't forget the first time you came to the wilderness. Weren't you scared out of your pants? Li Yang sneered arrogantly. Humph. I've already warned the newcomers to be careful with you, a loser who can't even protect his own brother, ha ha ha. Old Dao growled angrily, his eyes bloodshot. Li Yang, if you're so good, say that again. He raised his hand to rush forward, but Old Hu quickly stopped him, his voice deepening. Old Dao, don't get agitated. Li Yang smirked, gripping his sword tightly, stood up abruptly and pointed at Old Dao to continue provoking. What kind of fancy moves do you want to show off? Are you going to use that three-legged cat sword technique, ha-ha? Come on, I'm ready! That person was trembling with anger. Old Dao roared, his words sharp as a knife. Damn it, don't stop me! I want to duel you to the death! Li Yang laughed loudly and immediately agreed. Fine! Old Dao drew his sword, steel flashing coldly in challenge. Kid Li Yang, one-on-one, the loser has to jump off this train. Li Yang's face twisted with a ferocious grin of disdain. Ha ha, a man of his word. Old Dao, your limbs are getting old. I'm really worried about you. Old Hu whispered worriedly to Old Long. Li Yang's combat power is 4,800, while Old Dao's is only 4,200. The power gap is still quite big. Old Long nodded in agreement. That's right. Hearing this, Jang Han thought silently, No, I have to help Uncle Dao. He immediately activated his talent scanning sharply towards Li Yang to find his weak points. Discovering something, Jang Han leaned close to Old Dao and whispered, Uncle Dao, I think his left waist and right calf have some problem. Later try to hit his left waist and right calf hard. Old Dao nodded, his eyes flashing confidence. All right, Xiao Han, don't worry. You step back first and watch how your Uncle Dao teaches him a lesson today. Li Yang snarled with contempt. Old Dao, are you done talking? With that, he grabbed his sword and lunged forward, leaping at Old Dao with a loud shout. Don't embarrass yourself in front of the rookies. Go to hell, you bastard! He swung fiercely with ferocious momentum. Old Dao remained as calm as a mountain, showing no sign of flinching. He gathered his strength, raised his sword high, steel flashing brilliantly. Old Hu and Old Long's eyes widened in surprise as they exclaimed in unison, Old Dao's gone crazy using his ultimate move right from the start. Old Dao's B-rank Thunder Sword increased speed by 80% his aura like he's ready to trade lives. Li Yang feigned surprise, his voice sarcastic. Cry, wolf! Don't you need your life anymore? But as soon as he finished, Old Dao suddenly swung horizontally, aiming straight at Li Yang's left waist, striking the critical point. Li Yang couldn't block in time and could only scream, Ah! Jang Han's trick worked. Old Dao laughed loudly, his aura blazing. Ha ha, Xiao Han, your eyes are sharp. It really worked. Get lost, Li Yang. That bastard pressed the attack. Old Dao struck again at his right calf. Li Yang was too weak to defend. His sword fell from his hand and he was flung far away, landing pathetically. Old Hu and Old Long laughed heartily, witnessing that their eyes sparkling with admiration. Ha ha, Old Dao, you really are a precious sword, never dulling your moves. Old Dao smirked proudly. Ha ha, Old Dao, you're something. The kids around Li Yang shouted fiercely, ready to charge and avenge against those purple-faced brats. Li Yang also shouted, preparing to rush and scar them. Let's go together. Old Dao's fighting spirit surged unfazed. He shouted, Bring a few more kids here, you little brats! Suddenly, a figure rushed in from nowhere and landed in the middle of the crowd, a terrifying pressure exploding and throwing everyone away. Even those standing outside had to raise their hands to shield their faces from the strong aura. Old Long squinted, his voice low. This is S-rank talent, Zhang Zhongli. Old Hu took a breath, his eyes full of astonishment. This guy's strength must be at least above a military commander rank. Jang Han thought silently, his heart pounding. Is an S-level talent really that terrifying? After a while, that person withdrew his aura. Everyone around collapsed, panting heavily. He coldly warned from the top of the forbidden duel train, "If you repeat this, I will throw all of you off." The group hurriedly gathered anxiously, asking Uncle Han Dao if he was okay. Old Dao exhaled sharply, his face pale but still firm. "I'm fine, just a little weak." "Who is this guy?" "So strong." Old Tiger shook his head thoughtfully. "I don't know, but this person really knocked you all away with one strike." "His strength is truly terrifying." Old Long Chen spoke urgently. "We need to bandage old Dao's wound first." A few hours later, the train stopped at the steel camp. Old Tiger explained calmly, "This is humanity's first line of defense, the steel camp." Old Long nodded, adding, "That's right, this is a safe zone and a supply station for warriors. Usually strong warriors are stationed here to ensure the defense line isn't breached by wild beasts." Old Tiger pointed decisively toward a store. "This is where you buy equipment and supplies. Everyone make sure to stock up and depart early. This time our target is the Wild Beast King, all three of them." After a while, the group gradually advanced deeper into the wilderness. Old Tiger turned to look at Jang Han with a serious gaze. "Little Han, once we leave the camp, we must enter combat mode. You need to understand more about the talents of some of us." Jang Han nodded, clearly excited. Old Tiger slowly introduced, "My talent is grade B. I can condense the fire element like I just did creating a fireball from the air. This is the most basic application of the fire element. Uncle Long is a mighty dragon with an A-level talent. He can enhance his strength, physique, and agility for a period of time. You've seen Uncle Dao's B-level superspeed talent before." He paused, his tone deepening. "Our mission target this time is City 7 Post 283, where a new steel-furred wild beast, king of the domain lord level, has just broken in. Its power is very terrifying, so we must be cautious during this mission." Jang Han smiled confidently, pounding his chest. "Don't worry, Uncle Tiger, I'll protect myself and complete my mission." Finishing his words, he shot forward to lead the scout team. Suddenly, Jang Han felt the ground shaking beneath his feet. "What's that noise?" Before he could understand what was happening, the three old men came running, shouting in unison, "Little Hand, get out of the way!" Suddenly, a giant fire snake burst up from the ground, tossing Jang Han backward onto his back. It quickly turned its head, spewing a huge fireball that blazed like a small sun straight toward the group. The group quickly jumped back, narrowly dodging. Old Tiger shouted urgently, "The fire snake's attack speed isn't fast, but be careful of its fire." "Yes." Jang Han drew his short knife and stood firm, his eyes flashing with confidence. "All right, Uncle Tiger, watch me take care of it." The three old men behind Jang Han were sweating profusely and full of worry as they heard this. Before they could react, Jang Han activated his talent Insight. His sharp gaze scanned the fire snake, searching for a weak point. Sure enough, he silently acknowledged he had found the fatal weakness. Without hesitation, Jang Han threw his backpack aside, and while the fire snake hadn't yet gathered its fire, leapt up and struck precisely at the weak point. The fire snake roared in pain and collapsed in an instant. The system announced in a robotic voice, "Congratulations, user, you have slain a mid-level fire serpent beast. Experience gained 286. Insight talent proficiency increased by 12. 1 point proficiency in the talent Concentrated Mind Strike increased by 12. Experience bar full, automatically leveling up. Congratulations, user reached level 3, rewarded with 100 free attribute points." 6. Jang Han smiled brightly, thinking, already got 286 experience points, leveling up much faster than killing chickens. The three old men watched in amazement, eyes wide. Old Dao spoke admiringly. "Little Han, your skills aren't bad." Jang Han scratched his head and laughed. "I heard snake meat tastes pretty good. Tonight everyone gets to eat their fill." Old Long nodded and laughed. "Sure enough, even in the wild you need a chef." Old Tiger added with bright eyes, "That's right, if we don't kill this many rare beasts, it would be a waste. Normally, to eat rare beasts, you have to go to a fancy hotel, and the price is high. But now, with little Han on the road, no worries about food anymore, haha." The three old men ate snake meat while laughing happily, their cheerful spirits echoing across the wilderness. Lu Jang Han was busy checking the attribute board, his eyes sparkling with an energy burst that could use 752 points to boost combat power for a short time. With the 100 free attribute points just received, his combat strength rose another notch. Lost in thought, Old Tiger's slow voice echoed, "Little Han, tonight we sleep here. Moving at night in the wild is too dangerous." Jang Han nodded briefly. "All right, Uncle Tiger." Suddenly, a fierce roar echoed from ahead. The four immediately sprang up, highly alert. Old Dao squinted, his voice low. That roar is from the wild wolves. Old Tiger quickly analyzed with sharp eyes. Sounds like it's from the southwest, about 1 kilometer away from us. Getting tangled with wild wolves would be very troublesome. Pack up and run northeast quickly. The group hurriedly packed up and dashed toward Hanlock City, number 168, in the northeast. After running a bit, a pack of wild wolves appeared behind, chasing closely. In no time, they had surrounded the four tightly. Old Tiger shouted urgently, "Little Han, wild wolves are very fast. You must seize the chance to strike." Jang Han nodded with cold eyes. "I understand, Uncle Tiger." Activating insight. He quickly found the wolves' weak spot on their bellies. Clutching his short knife, Jang Han waited for the moment a wolf lunged. He bent down, dodged the sharp claws, then slashed across the belly, finishing it instantly. Old Dao and Old Long stared in amazement, exclaiming in unison, "Little Han, what kind of power is this? You just took down one so fast." "These wolves have over 1,000 combat power," Jang Han shouted confidently. "Their weak spot is their bellies." Even though he had a sharp jungle knife, forgetting to bring punishment made it tough when the pack attacked all at once. Old Long was surrounded by 3 or 4 wolves, sweating profusely. Fortunately, Old Tiger quickly unleashed a blazing fire fist to save the day. Unlike the 3 old men struggling, Jang Han used 9-fold thunderblade combined with mind strike, swiftly cutting down 7 wolves with lightning-fast moves. Old Long and Old Dao praised without hesitation, "Well done, kid, hiding your skills, huh?" "Little Han, what skill is that? The power is impressive." Old Tiger interrupted sternly. "Be careful, finish off this pack first, then talk." The pack was going wild, howling loudly together, the echo sending chills down everyone's spine. Old Dao trembled, pointing forward and stammering, "Look, a white wild wolf, powerful looking, is slowly approaching." Old Tiger shouted in horror, "This is a mutated white wild wolf, silver medicine wolf king level leader." Old Long's face turned pale as he muttered like a deathbed confession, "Old Dao, if you live to return, remember to give the money in my wallet to my dumb son." Old Dao sighed gloomily. "Don't joke, no one can run from a mutated beast leader level." Old Tiger looked solemn and said sadly, "Little Han, sorry, I can't take you to find your father." Lu Jang Han's eyes blazed with determination. "Uncle Tiger, let's take it down together." The other 2 old men also pumped up, shouting in unison, "Right, Old Tiger, we can't let Little Han underestimate it." Old Dao continued fiercely, "Exactly, if the Wolf King level leader dies, we die with it. Let's go." Jang Han nodded and shouted, "Let me first find its weak spot." Without hesitation, he charged straight at the Silver Medicine Wolf King, activating all his skills. Jang Han leapt up, gaining momentum to stab down, his eyes locked on the beast. Old Tiger sensed danger and yelled, "Little Han, get back now!" Jang Han thought, "I don't believe this beast has no weak spot." He stabbed hard into the Wolf King's back, but unexpectedly the knife shattered as soon as it touched the skin. Jang Han fell to the ground, still dazed, when the Silver Medicine Wolf King used its front paw to fling him far away. The 3 old men shouted worriedly in unison, "Jang Han!" They rushed over, eyes full of horror, seeing the Silver Medicine Wolf King standing tall, unharmed. Jang Han gritted his teeth firmly. "You 3 uncles run quickly." Old Dao shook his head hoarsely. "Little Han, this is a rare beast at the leader level. We have no chance of winning." Jang Han thought to himself, better to risk it than wait to die. He shouted, "I'll draw the Silver Wing Wolf King's attention. Everyone run, maybe we have a chance to survive." With that, Jang Han charged again. Old Tiger roared loudly with a pained look. "Han kid, come back quickly." Silver Wing Wolf King swung its claws to slash. Jang Han ducked and slid under its belly, dodging cleanly. Suddenly, he looked up and spotted a weak spot on the left side of its belly. But at that moment, the Wolf King turned, its huge wings flapping powerfully, throwing Jang Han far away. He tumbled on the ground, struggling to get up. The beast flew high, took momentum, then beat its wings to dive straight toward Jang Han. It seemed Jang Han was doomed, but suddenly a beam of light flashed in to save him by a hair. In his blurry vision, Jang Han vaguely saw someone using a giant sword to block the Silver Wing Wolf King's mouth. It was the person from the ship who had stopped their duel. He spoke in a deep voice. "Aren't you afraid to die?" Old Tiger exclaimed in surprise. "Is this a marshal-level combat skill?" Old Dao was also stunned. What martial level? The strongest top-tier combat power. That person drew his sword and slashed sideways, pushing back the Silver Wing Wolf King, then shouted, "Kid, get up and help me deal with these smaller Wolf Kings." "Let me handle this." Jang Han nodded, his eyes shining brightly. "All right." Watching this person fight the Wolf King, Jang Han gaped in silent admiration. This is a marshal so strong. He immediately stood and rushed toward the pack of small wild wolves, slashing sharply and cutting them in half as easily as cutting paper. Turning to see the other still hadn't defeated the Silver Wing Wolf King, Jang Han shouted loudly, "The weak spot of the Wolf King is on the left side of its belly." Hearing this, Li Chongyang immediately dodged under the Wolf King's belly, found the exact weak point, and stabbed sharply straight through the beast's body. As the Wolf King crashed heavily to the ground, the remaining wild wolves panicked and scattered in all directions. The three old men stood aside, eyes wide in constant amazement. This really is the strongest combat power, one strike to kill the Silver Wing Wolf King, worthy of martial level. After defeating the Wolf King, Li Chongyang gently landed and leisurely sheathed his sword behind his back. The three old men immediately stepped forward respectfully and bowed. "Honored to meet a marshal. We are the Violent Dragon Squad." He lightly nodded, his gaze shifting aside with a deep voice. "What's your name?" Jang Han replied confidently. "I'm Jang Han." Li Chongyang raised his eyebrows in praise. At this age, to have the combat power of a grand martial master and still recognize the weak spot of a rare beast, at leader level, truly unlimited potential. Hearing this, the three old men went weak at the knees and stammered in unison, "What?" "Little Han has reached Grand Martial Master combat power." Li Chongyang pointed at the Silver Wing Wolf King's corpse calmly. "Kid, this rare beast leader corpse is yours." Old Tiger gaped in shock. "This rare beast leader's corpse is worth at least over 1,000,000 Alliance currency." Old Dao chimed in excitedly. "How are you calculating that?" "One wolf fang alone is worth 1,000,000. Jang Han scratched his head, eyes embarrassed as he declined. "This Silver Wing Wolf King's corpse is too precious. I dare not accept it, thank you." Li Chongyang walked away while turning back leisurely. "Take it and exchange for some handy weapons. Consider it my investment in you." "Right, kid, remember my name, Marshal Li Chongyang." Watching Li Chongyang's back disappear, Jang Han thought with sparkling eyes full of ambition. "How far am I from martial level myself?" The three old men gathered angrily, banging their heads and shouting loudly. "This kid hid his true strength from us, lied, saying he only awakened to B level, but now has Grand Martial Master combat power. No wonder he could see the weak spot on the ship. Who knows what other secrets he's hiding from us?" "Yes." Jang Han smiled awkwardly, waving his hand to explain slowly, "I didn't want to either." Old Tiger laughed, patted his shoulder with a hearty voice. All right, little Han isn't a kid anymore. Having some secrets is fine. Moreover, having the Grand Martial Master strategy for our team is also a good thing." Jang Han heard this and nodded eagerly. Yes, sir, yes. Looking at the corpse of Silver Medicine Wolf King, he suggested, "Uncle Hu, the Wolf King's corpse is so valuable, let's just split it directly." Old Hu laughed loudly and waved his hand. "Ha, this is the lover of the Martial Marquis. For you us old guys dare not claim it." Old Long also laughed warmly. "That's right, this is the capital the Martial Marquis invested for you." Then Jang Han seriously turned back with sincere eyes. "Three uncles, could you take me to the wilderness? I am very grateful." Before he could say more, the three old men surrounded him, placing their hands on his shoulders, kindly advising, "Little Han, just take this corpse. You are still young. This is your first time coming to the wilderness. The resources on this corpse will be very useful to you." Old Dao continued, "Right, go back and exchange it for a set of equipment." Old Long nodded. "That's right, go back and exchange for some handy weapons. We can reach a higher level area. Us old guys are already equipped like this. Buying more won't increase much." I saw the three uncles sincerely advising, and Jang Han no longer refused. "All right then." There are still some wildlands wolf bodies nearby. I'll go clear them out a bit. He turned with a bright smile. Han kid, after fighting so long, you should get something to eat. Old Dao nodded while still chewing meat. Didn't Old Dao just finish eating? Jang Han laughed loudly.
All right, Uncle Dao, you must be hungry too.
This time, no need to worry about the ground being soaked with Wolf King blood. Other mutated beasts won't dare come near. We can sleep soundly now. Old Dao chewed his meat and nodded. Delicious. Old Tiger suddenly reminded in a serious tone, That's right, little Han, once we return, you should first get certified as a Grand Martial Master. You will then qualify to form your own martial artist squad. Jang Han's eyes lit up with surprise. Form my own team, Old Tiger continued steadily. Exactly, usually a 5-person squad has 1 main attacker and 4 support members. But right now in our team, the main attacker is me and you are support, which makes it hard for you to fully show your strength. So you should consider becoming the main attacker and forming your own squad. Jang Han nodded thoughtfully. I see. Yes, that's also why we want you to upgrade your equipment quickly. Think it over. Jang Han responded firmly. Yes, Uncle Tiger, I will think very carefully. Old Tiger stood, stretched leisurely. No rush, take your time to think. Rest early. Tomorrow we enter Zone 283 territory, and the journey is still long. Jang Han nodded. Yes. The next morning, the group stopped at what used to be Songtan, a famous tourist city. After the human disaster, it was abandoned and left to be overrun by mutated plants and animals. Old Tiger carefully reminded with sharp eyes, First take the high ground, little Han, scout the surrounding situation. If you spot any signs of a Beast King, report immediately. The foregathered Old Tiger continued. Our mission this time is to collect 11 types of second-grade high-quality Duan Yin herb, the material to make 4th-level life recovery pills. As he spoke, he pulled out a painting to show everyone, This is the Duan Yin herb. We need to find a total of 2 roots. Old Long grumbled angrily. Damn it, we already found it last time. If we hadn't run into the Beast King, this mission would have been completed long ago. Old Tiger sternly reminded little Han, Pay close attention to the situation, be very careful of the Beast King. We cannot handle that monster. Jang Han nodded decisively. Yes, Uncle Tiger. Without hesitation, Jang Han activated his innate talent scanning within a 1 kilometer radius. I see more than 10 mutated beasts, 2 mid-level general beasts, 7 low-level general beasts, no high-level generals or beast kings. He lowered his voice cautiously. Sneak in quietly. Do not kill these beasts. The smell of blood will attract more mutated beasts. Our target is the Duan Yin herb 3 kilometers ahead. That's where it grows. The group immediately moved silently in that direction. Old Tiger frowned with suspicion. Strange there hasn't been a single mutated beast on the way. Suddenly, Jang Han startled as if realizing something, shouting loudly, Something's wrong! Old Tiger anxiously asked little Han, What is it? Jang Han pointed in a direction with a terrified voice. Looks like a pack of more than 10 mid-level general beasts, plus 3 high-level ones. Old Dao cut in. Is there a Beast King present? Jang Han shook his head. No, but this pack seems to be heading toward the Duan Yin herb. Old Long growled angrily. Could the Beast King be in the Duan Yin herb area? Damn, that beast sure knows how to pick its home. But given the urgent situation, Old Tiger decisively led the group to rush forward. Don't worry about the numbers. Let's check it out first and then talk. Stay away from the pack. Get the Duan Yin herb and then retreat immediately. When they arrived, they saw the Beast King reigning in an abandoned warehouse, roaring loudly, the sound shaking everything. The 4 hid behind a nearby wall, hearts pounding as they observed silently. Jang Han suddenly whispered, That Beast King just gave birth. Old Tiger's eyes brightened sharply. No wonder it called the pack over. It's protecting itself and its offspring. Old Long lowered his voice excitedly. Our chance has come. The usual strategy of Beast Kings around 50,000 strength like this one is that after giving birth, they enter an extremely weakened state. Little Han, you and Uncle Tiger stay here. Lao Dao and I thought of a way to lure it out, and while that happened, we would collect the Duan Am grass. Jang Han nodded with determination in his eyes. All right. The two of them carefully moved over. The Beast King was licking its cub's eyes full of caution. Jang Han hid behind the wall, silently activating his talent to see through and tried to find a weakness, but he shook his head, thinking, sure enough, it's a tier leader-level strange beast. Even if its combat strength is reduced, no weakness is visible. Suddenly, a loud explosion sounded ahead, capturing the Beast King's attention. But since its newborn cubs were still here, it wouldn't leave easily. Old Tiger was anxious, his voice deepening. No, the Beast King isn't making any moves. We need to think of another plan. He turned to Little Han. I'll go lure the Beast King. You take the opportunity to grab the Duan Am grass. Jang Han was worried, but still nodded. Under Old Tiger's careful guidance, Old Tiger observed the situation. Suddenly, he leapt out and launched a blazing fireball toward the Beast King. Running, he taunted, "Come here, beast, chase me!" The beast's face twisted in pain as the fire singed it. It roared angrily and charged after Old Tiger at the right moment. Jang Han quietly moved forward, quickly plucking the Duan Am grass and putting it in his backpack. He gathered several more roots, muttering, "That should be enough." Looking at the piglets, Jang Han thought, the Beast King is so large, yet its cubs are so small. Just one slash could kill these cubs, but he shook his head. No, these little ones aren't a threat. Let's spare them. Suddenly, Jang Han's eyes lit up. He exclaimed in surprise, what's this? Could this be Black Wind Bamboo? He recognized these were third-grade mid-level spirit medicines, even higher quality than Duan Am grass. These 3 spirit medicines were definitely prepared by the Beast King to restore its strength. Taking all of these could greatly increase my combat power. Jang Han quickly picked the Black Wind Bamboo. His movements were decisive, but suddenly he felt a cold chill run down his spine. Turning around, he was horrified to see the huge Beast King standing towering behind him unnoticed until now. Its eyes glowed red, growling threateningly. As it lunged, Jang Han rolled to the side, narrowly dodging. The beast rammed heavily into the wall in front. Rocks and debris shattered and scattered. Before he could react, the Beast King charged again with fierce momentum. Jang Han ran desperately, shouting, "Help!" Getting hit by this beast would definitely mean death. When the Beast King leapt and slammed down hard, Jang Han used his spiritual power to flip forward, escaping the brink of life and death. Seeing him run far away, the beast roared in anger. The sound shook the whole area. Suddenly, Old Dragon's voice came from afar. "Little Han, how are you? Did you get the Duan Am grass?" Jang Han opened his backpack and proudly smiled. "Got it all, just a couple more than needed, nothing missing. Plus, everyone take a look." As he spoke, he showed the Black Wind Bamboo, his eyes sparkling. Old Dragon's eyes widened in surprise. "Mung beans, this is Black Wind Bamboo. This stuff goes for over 100,000 per stalk." "Little Han, where did you get it?" Jang Han replied excitedly. "Right from the Beast King's lair. I couldn't get all of it, only about a dozen pieces." Lao Dao panicked, voice trembling. "This is bad." These spirit medicines were definitely prepared by the Beast King to restore its own strength. Plus, they grew inside its den. They will be infused with the Beast King's scent. Taking these might cause the Beast King to hunt us down. Yes. Hearing this, Jang Han's expression immediately grew serious. What? The Beast King can actually track the scent that far. What should we do? We need to get out of here fast. Old Tiger watched the movements ahead, voice low. It's too late. Everyone look, the Beast King and other ferocious beasts have already caught up. The fierce beasts bared their claws, eyes blazing red, staring at the 4 of them. Suddenly, Old Dragon stepped forward, voice resolute. Old Tiger packed up. All right, everyone, go ahead. Don't worry about me. Old Tiger growled, eyes worried. What nonsense is this? Don't go there. This is the Beast King, a tier leader level beast. But Old Dragon charged forward alone to face the giant beast. Shouting loudly, "Everyone go!" Old Dragon's punch struck powerfully like thunder. But against the Beast King, it was like a needle prick on steel. Before he could do anything else, he was thrown far away by the beast. The whole group hurriedly ran to lift Old Long up, worriedly asked, "Uncle Long, what do you think now? Didn't you tell everyone to go ahead? Do you want everyone to die here?" Jang Han stood up, his eyes determined as he looked toward the pack of beasts. "Running won't save us. We might as well take advantage of the Wild Beast King just having used up much of his strength. Go all out against him. At least there's still a chance to survive. Old Long nodded with vigor. Exactly. Go all out against him. If we die together. Jang Han shouted loudly forward. Uncle Tiger, Uncle Blade, you two handle the little ones. Leave the Wild Beast King to me. I'll lead him away and then split off to deal with him. Old Tiger hurriedly stopped him. No, Little Han, that's too dangerous. But Jang Han was determined and charged straight ahead. The small beasts jumped up, cornering the three of them. Old Blade and Old Tiger fought hard to defend, sweat pouring like streams. Meanwhile, Jang Han leapt high, activating his talent to see through, but still couldn't find a weakness. How can there be no flaw? Spinning once he landed facing the Wild Beast King, his mind racing for a plan. Old Long shouted urgently, Han, kid, the belly has no protective layer. She just gave birth. That's the weak point. Yes, Jang Han exclaimed excitedly. Yes, Uncle Long. He immediately unleashed all the energy he had been storing. The system announced energy burst complete. Combat power increased by 5,752. Duration 30 minutes. Current combat power 11,679. Jang Han's whole body was enveloped by a bright pale blue aura shining like jade. He roared with explosive momentum. Die, you three old men! Hearing the shout and turning around, they couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Old Blade gasped. Huh? Little Han's combat power is already over 10,000. Is that even possible? Jang Han charged straight toward the wild beast. He cut through two beasts, blocking the way, a brocade tiger and a red spirit vine. With his current strength, one slash was enough to bring them down, blood splattering everywhere. System notification. Congratulations, host, you have killed the mid-level beast commander Brocade Tiger. Gained 589 experience points. Talent proficiency increased by 147 points. Congratulations, host, you have killed the mid-level beast commander Red Spirit Vine. Gained 596 experience points. Talent proficiency increased by 148 points. Jang Han continued to push forward, but the Wild Beast King charged fiercely like a runaway truck. Just when a collision seemed inevitable, Jang Han tilted his body, dodged to the right, then dashed through, slashing across the belly. Blood gushed out, but the Wild Beast King still stood firm. Its thick flesh absorbed the blow. Jang Han stopped looking at the beast, thinking, still not dead. He gritted his teeth, eyes blazing. One more strike. Jang Han charged up, unleashing countless consecutive slashes. Each slash sharp as a wind blade. The Wild Beast King was covered in wounds. It roared in pain. The system continuously announced, congratulations, host. Talent. 1 mind strike proficiency is full. Auto level up of 1 mind strike. Attack has a 60% chance to trigger a critical hit. Current proficiency 53 out of 4,000. Congratulations, host. 9-fold thunderblade proficiency is full auto level up to level 2. Using the blade in combat multiplies strength by 4, agility by 4. Current proficiency 16 out of 4,000. Old Long watched Jang Han torment the Wild Beast King so miserably, mouth agape. Han, kid, you've gone too far. Finally, after a miserable roar, the Wild Beast King collapsed to the ground, blood spreading everywhere. The remaining beasts panicked and fled in all directions. The system announced in a clear, mechanical voice, congratulations, host, you have killed the rare beast-level commander Wild Beast King. Gained 5,896 experience points. Talent, see-through proficiency increased by 896. 1 mind strike proficiency increased by 896. 9-fold thunderblade proficiency increased by 682. Experience is full auto level up. Experience is full auto level up. The 3 old men approached the Wild Beast King's corpse, still filled with astonishment. Old Tiger looked into the distance, voice deep. Little Han, how did your combat power suddenly increase so much? And you were able to kill the Wild Beast King? Old Long sighed, eyes sparkling with admiration. That slash just now must have at least 89 to 10D strength, truly terrifying. Jang Han scratched his head, thinking he couldn't reveal the system, and replied awkwardly, a friend gave me a copy of the 9-fold Thunder Slash. I didn't expect the 9-fold Thunder Slash combined with the 1 Heart Strike Guild to be so powerful. Old Long laughed, patting the boy's shoulder. You're just like your father, always surprising others. Jang Han's eyes widened in surprise. My father, Old Tiger nodded warmly. That's right. Before your father disappeared, he really told us to bring you to Wild Plains, after you awakened. Jang Han excitedly, eyes shining brightly. Ah! So did your father say anything else? Old Long raised his hand to calm him down in a steady voice. Don't rush. We'll talk slowly later. We shouldn't stay here long. Quickly collect the Beast King's body and find a quiet place. At night, the group gathered around the fire, the flickering light illuminating their faces. Old Tiger recounted slowly, his voice deep. Before your father left, he didn't tell us what was going on. Old Long continued, shaking his head wearily. That's right. Old Tiger mostly talks nonsense, nothing useful at all. Cheng Ka never shares his feelings. Old Tiger patted little Han's shoulder to encourage him. Don't be sad, your father has his own plans. You two will meet again sooner or later. Old Dao nodded confidently. That's right, you have to believe in your father. Now that you're this strong, I believe the day you find him isn't far off. Jang Han nodded, eyes sparkling with hope. I hope so. Old Tiger clapped him on the shoulder, laughing heartily. Exactly, little Han. This time we not only completed the mission, you also got the bodies of 2 high-grade mutant beasts and even obtained the black-patterned bamboo. You've made a great haul. Jang Han responded excitedly. Thanks, Uncle Tiger. Also, I just thought of something. Old Tiger raised his brow. What is it? Jang Han pondered logically. The Beast King just gave birth. It should have stayed to protect its offspring, so why did it chase us so far and bring the whole pack with it? Old Long stroked his chin thoughtfully. Oh, what you say does sound a bit strange. Jang Han continued. I guess maybe someone else killed its offspring, which angered it enough to chase us here and surround us. Old Tiger nodded sharply. Your guess is possible, but we killed the Beast King. The truth behind it doesn't matter much. Old Long stood up decisively. All right, stop guessing and get some rest. When we get back to the steel camp, pay attention to who's selling black-patterned bamboo recently. Wouldn't we know right away? Jang Han nodded. Yeah, that's true. The next day at the mutant talent market, Jang Han was secretly delighted, eyes sparkling. I didn't expect the bodies of 2 mutant beasts to be worth this much. Maybe I can trade for a more powerful weapon now. A voice rang out. Hello, sir. Your account has received 11.5 million Alliance credits. Welcome, please. Feel free to choose your items. Jang Han walked toward a gleaming sword. The shop owner immediately advertised loudly, Sir, you have great taste. This sword is named Soul of the Sun. Forged from blue silver, it's 36 times harder than steel. It can withstand forces over 300 tons without damaging the blade. The entire body is blue silver. The handle is wrapped in soft vine to prevent slipping. Jang Han examined it and asked immediately, How much? The shop owner smiled brightly. Price is 7.4 million Alliance credits. Before he could finish, Jang Han held the sword, eyes shining brightly. Soul of the Sun can withstand forces over 300 tons without damage. That's right. The shop owner nodded firmly. That's right. Jang Han pointed decisively. Take it. The shop owner was delighted. All right, sir. I will deliver the item to your address as soon as possible. Also, sir, do you have any other requests? And seeing a big spender, he quickly advertised more. Upstairs, we also have helmets, armor, and many other items you can take a look. Then Jang Han tried on the gear. The system kept announcing in a mechanical voice, Account deducted 7.4 million Alliance credits. Account deducted 1.8 million Alliance credits. Account deducted 1.2 million Alliance credits. Jang Han thought to himself, shivering slightly. I thought 11.5 million Alliance credits was enough, but it's almost all gone this fast. Looking at himself now, he wore shining armor, radiating a commanding aura. Weapons and gear are settled. The next step is the Grand Martial Artist Assessment. Entering the Martial Artists Guild. Jang Han thought quietly, eyes shining. I didn't expect my combat power to improve this fast, and I'm already here. Someone approached steadily. Fill out the information form first, then line up over there for the test. Jang Han nodded. Oh, okay. Holding the form, Jang Han suddenly thought, a Above the Grand Marshal Master is the Marshal General, so I can directly take the Marshal General exam. Not only do you need to become a Marshal General rank, but you also get a monthly allowance of 1 million. Determined, he muttered, "That's right, I'll take the Marshal General test directly." Thinking this, Jang Han filled out the Marshal General examination information. Seeing the information board, the examiner's eyes widened in surprise with a doubtful tone. "Jang Han, your talent is already at level C, Assault. Kid, did you fill this out wrong? This part should be for martial artists, not martial generals. Take it back and fill it out again." Jang Han was firm, his eyes cold. "No mistake." The Marshal General examiner grumbled under his breath. He thought to himself, are young people so showy these days? Then lead the way. Follow me upstairs for the actual combat test. Jang Han nodded decisively. Thank you." Entering the testing room, Jang Han gaped in silent admiration. This testing field is really spacious. Looks like it's a bit harder than the martial artist test. Before he could steady himself, a huge figure loomed. A huge foot with sharp claws swooped down as fast as lightning. Jang Han quickly jumped back, narrowly avoiding it. In front of him was a rare beast, a level overlord fierce flame lion. It opened its mouth wide and roared threateningly, shaking the air. Jang Han looked at the lion, his heart trembling slightly. A level overlord. Unexpectedly, the Marshal General exam has you face a level overlord rare beast alone. The fierce flame lion lunged forward, striking with its 2 front paws. Jang Han sprang backward and activated the 9-fold thunderblade, increasing his speed 4-fold, enough to dodge the attack. But the beast, over 4 meters tall, wanted to attack him by jumping on him. Without flying skills, he couldn't change position in mid-air either. What to do? While thinking, the fierce flame lion pressed him against the wall and lunged again. Jang Han swiftly slid under its belly, neatly dodging the strike. He muttered, "It can't be without a weakness. If the rare beasts in the testing field are created from data, then the weakness isn't outside." Suddenly awakened Jang Han thought he knew. The weakness is definitely inside. When the fierce flame lion opened its mouth wide and roared angrily, Jang Han immediately charged forward, discovering the weakness right inside its mouth cavity. Without hesitation, he thrust straight in, using the 9-fold thunderblade combined with the 1 mind strike piercing through the beast's brain. When Jang Han landed, the system's clear voice congratulated him. Passed the evaluation test. Marshal General Level A easily passed the Marshal General exam. The old female examiner hurriedly reported to the chief supervisor. Just now, an 18-year-old young man passed the Marshal General exam. The old woman turned back, her eyes bright. 18 years old and already passed the Marshal General exam, truly a promising seed. What talent level? The other person checked the information board again and replied level C. The old woman could not contain herself and jumped up. What, only talent level C and already passed the Marshal General exam? Under the dim light of the small eatery, Jang Han leaned back in his chair, sweat beading on his forehead. After a long day of exhausting his energy, he silently told himself he needed to replenish some energy. Suddenly, an old woman with a cane and a slow gait entered the eatery. A kind smile appeared on her weathered face. Before he could speak, Jang Han was interrupted by the old woman's gentle but firm voice. "Young man, this old lady is hungry. Could you share a bowl of porridge with me?" Jang Han was stunned, scratched his head shyly, and coughed. "Then please sit here first. I'll get a bowl for you." He quickly brought a steaming bowl of plain porridge and placed it before her. The old woman took a long sip and slowly savored it, her eyes reflecting a bit of nostalgia. "Pork loin with plain porridge is really delicious. This familiar flavor, I haven't tasted it in a long time." She spoke softly, full of emotion. Jang Han smiled, waving his hand. "No problem, ma'am. I'll be open for the next few days. If you want porridge every morning, just come here." The old woman nodded, put on her worn hat, leaned on her cane, and stood up to leave leisurely. "You're good and kind. Thank you, young man. This old lady will go first." She spoke warmly. Jang Han watched her leave and reminded, "Take care." As soon as the old woman disappeared behind the eatery's curtain, Lao Hu and Lao Long, 2 familiar figures, quietly entered with meaningful expressions. They glanced toward the direction the old woman had just left, their eyes showing suspicion. Jang Han immediately recognized them and excitedly shouted, "Uncle Long, Uncle Ho, why are you both here?" Old Long replied in a deep voice, "There's news about Black Wenju." Old Ho frowned and interrupted, asking, "Little Han, what was that madam doing here just now?" Jang Han pointed toward the dining table and smiled lightly. Nothing much. She came to eat a bowl of porridge and then left. Old Long continued enthusiastically. Tonight, the Strange Talent Market is holding an auction. Black Wenju is on the list. Jang Han's eyes lit up as he replied immediately. Really? Let's go check it out. Old Ho had already moved to the dining table by then. Smelling the fragrant porridge, he couldn't help but ask, Little Han, what kind of porridge is this?
Smells so good. Get me a bowl quickly.
Old Long joined in laughing loudly. Give me a bowl, too. Before they could answer, a stranger entered the shop and called out clearly, May I ask who is Mr. Jang Han? The item you purchased yesterday has arrived. Jang Han hurried out and carefully held a sword wrapped securely. That's me. He placed the sword on the table and unfolded the cloth to reveal the sharp steel blade sparkling under the light. The two old men stared wide-eyed. Old Ho exclaimed, Nice sword, Little Han. This sword must have cost a pretty penny. Jang Han scratched his face and smiled sheepishly. 7 million alliance coins. Hearing the number, Old Long's expression showed a brief shock. Scene shifts to the Strange Talent Market auction hall. The space is magnificent, illuminated by dazzling crystal chandeliers shining over the crowd. Old Ho observed around and commented, This auction is on quite a scale, unlike the usual ones. Old Long nodded and added, That's right. Rare to see so many martial marquis gathered like this. On stage, the auctioneer from Lan Clan Logistics stepped up with a clear voice, Dear honored guests. The next auction item is the armor left behind by war god Jang Han after his fall. This was Jang Han Sr.'s armor level 6 defense. However, in the final battle, it was attacked by a spiritual formation master, reducing its level to 5. Starting price is 10 million alliance coins. Please place your bids. Old Ho whispered, War god Jang Han was an outstanding figure. This armor is definitely extraordinary. Old Long nodded, indeed. I was personally taught one-on-one by Senior Jang Han. A voice from the crowd rang out sarcastically. A damaged armor and yet asking for 10 million. Probably just for collecting. Old Ho turned to Jang Han. Little Han, I think this armor suits you well. Jang Han sighed regretfully. It really does, but I just bought the soul tie, now only have 1 million left in my card. Old Long smiled and patted his shoulder. Little Han, don't worry about money, someone will handle it. Old Ho immediately raised a bidding paddle and shouted, I bid 11 million. Lan Clan Logistics pointed, This honorable guest bids 11 million. Lu Jang Han blinked in confusion, asking, What do you mean someone will handle it? Old Ho smiled and explained. Although this armor dropped 1 level, it's still a high-level armor with special attributes. It can transform. It can become a shield or thin armor at will. Jang Han nodded gratefully. Yes, thank you, Uncle Ho. With this armor, defending against attacks from low-level beast overlords won't be a problem. Old Long smiled and continued, Next is the second auction item, 3 black pattern bamboo roots. Old Ho and Jang Han jumped up, eyes bright pointing toward the stage. Uncle Ho, look quickly, it's black pattern bamboo exactly like the one I got. Old Ho narrowed his eyes and lowered his voice. Could it be your guess is right? Is someone behind this playing tricks? Suddenly a voice rang from the crowd. 24.8 million, I want these black pattern bamboo. The person continued in an authoritative tone. I ask everyone to show some respect. I commissioned someone to refine a secret medicine only missing these black pattern bamboo. Lu Jang Han gasped and whispered, 3 black pattern bamboo for over 20 million. Old Long explained calmly, Little Han, black pattern bamboo is a holy medicine for healing, rarer than armor, high demand, pricey is normal. Old Ho looked toward the bidder, surprised. Marshal Marquis Li Kai-shan, awakened, talent level S. Someone like him came here too. Suddenly, another voice decisively called out, 28 million? This person continued, Li Kai-shan, I have a student urgently needing black pattern bamboo to restore combat strength. The crowd stirred. Oh, another Marshal Marquis, the top water and wood Taoist Ling An. Jang Han turned his head curious. Top water and wood Taoist. Han thought to himself, the Water and Wood University where Kwong Trin-gu studied is truly a school admired by every martial artist. Ling An is also a famous Taoist from there. Li Kai-san spoke in a deep but firm voice. Master Lin An, I have always respected you a bit, but this secret medicine is extremely important to me as well. Lin An smiled and negotiated. I don't need much. How about this? I'll take one stalk of the black patterned bamboo and the other 2 stalks belong to you. How's that? Li Kai-san nodded. All right, let's do it that way. The 6 Lan clan auctioneer immediately declared, if no one bids higher, these 3 stalks of black patterned bamboo will belong to Master Lin An. The old tiger muttered, who dares to bid again? It's like going against the Waterwood Academy. The old dragon nodded. The 3 stalks of black patterned bamboo sold for 28 million. The next item is probably even more expensive than these 3. Jang Han pondered silently. The auction host surely knows who's selling the black patterned bamboo. He stood up firmly. I'm going outside for a bit. The old tiger was surprised. Little Han, where are you going? Jang Han replied quickly, just stepping outside for a moment. He hurried upstairs, but was stopped by 2 bodyguards. Sir, the upper floor is a private area. You cannot go up. Jang Han scratched his head and forced a smile. I have a valuable item and want to meet your boss. The 2 bodyguards remained firm. Sorry, sir, this is auction house policy. No matter what, the boss does not receive guests. Sighing, Jang Han had to turn back. As he left the hall, he met the old tiger and the old dragon. The old tiger patted Little Han's shoulder. The auctioned armor will be delivered to your home. Jang Han was annoyed. Too bad I couldn't find any info on the seller of the black patterned bamboo. The old dragon comforted him. The auction house always keeps client info confidential. We'll try to gather more info later. Suddenly enlightened, Jang Han said, That's right. Uncle Long, Uncle Tiger, once the armor arrives, I want to visit the wilderness myself. The 2 old men were stunned. Old Long shouted, Little Han, are you crazy? Going alone into the wilderness is too dangerous. The old tiger put his hand on Old Long's shoulder to stop him. Long, don't say anything more. If Little Han's decided, just let him go. Jang Han smiled confidently. Last time, thanks to you 2 guiding me, I learned a lot. As long as I don't go too deep into the wilderness, there won't be any problems. Old Long sighed, and the old tiger reminded, Little Han's survival in the wilderness is the top priority. Remember that well. Jang Han nodded with a bright smile. Yes, I'll remember. 2 days later, on the ship heading to the wilderness, Jang Han reviewed the map, muttering, Area 157 almost there. That place has many general-grade strange beasts good for leveling up. Soon he set foot in Area 157. 2 general-grade strange beasts appeared before him. Jang Han's eyes flashed coldly as he drew his soul-slash blade and struck decisively like lightning. The one-horned wolf demon was split in 2, and the other didn't escape the sharp blade either. Suddenly, a small white tiger ran over, growling softly. Jang Han chuckled lightly. So the 2 one-horned wolves wanted to make you their meal. He grabbed the 2 beasts' bodies and looked at the white tiger. All right, little one, run while you can. Surviving in the wilderness isn't easy. After finishing, Jang Han checked his host info board. Jang Han combat power, 12,753 level 8 strength, 234 speed, 221 constitution, 230 spirit, 229 attribute points without experience. 15, 689 out of 64,000. Talents clear sight level. ALV2. 1 heart strike level B, LV4. Clear sight activates automatically in battle, revealing the weaknesses of all things. 1 heart strike has a 50% chance to cause critical damage. X years 4 proficiency. Clear sight 1, 225 out of 3,000. 1 heart strike 1, 568 out of 4,000. Marshal skill. Heavy thunderblade. Earth grade superior. LV2T with fair blade strength. X2 speed. X2 proficiency in heavy thunderblade 1, 836 out of 4,000. Out of item no space system 185 out of 1,000. Mission celestial slayer energy burst reserve none. Jang Han walked on the rugged path. Longtem miscalculated his combat power had reached 12,700, which was decent among martial generals, but all 4 attributes exceeding 200 meant he still needed to hunt more monsters to get stronger. When night fell, he sat by the fire nibbling on golden roasted venison, praising, "This deer meat is truly delicious. No wonder it sells for 3,000 alliance currency per pound." Suddenly a voice from afar cut through his thoughts. "Tonban, how much farther? Is your perception ability really accurate?" Another voice replied confidently, "Don't worry, the boss is nearby." Jang Han paused, thinking, who's that? He stealthily hid in a corner, eyes fixed on the group ahead. One said, "Is the K-Kim mineral vein inside here?" Tonbun nodded. "That's right." Li Duong led the way, slapped Tonbun's shoulder, and laughed loudly. "Last time it was black-patterned bamboo, this time it's K-Kim ore. We're going to get rich." Jang Han's heart raced when he heard this, the black text bamboo. Could it be that they are the ones behind the golden ore? That is the high-grade mineral ore that appeared after the incident. He recalled Li Duong was the one who once fought decisively with the old sword on the ship at Checkpoint 4. The three slowly advanced deeper into the deserted mine area. One reminded them to slow down, don't rush. This mine has been abandoned for a long time. Inside there might be high-level rare beasts. Li Duong sneered, "Don't scare me. Usually around high-grade materials there are rare beasts with corresponding attributes guarding them. If this is the golden ore, there must be at least a metal attribute rare beast of leader level." Ban paled hearing this. "What do you mean, leader level? What should we do, boss?" Li Duong proudly said, "What's there to be afraid of? This time I'm prepared." The subordinate asked, "Prepared with what?" The henchman spoke up, "Quick look, boss." Suddenly a streak of golden light flashed ahead. The group cheered excitedly. "This really is a rich gold mine, ha. My intuition has never been wrong." But at that moment, a drop of sticky liquid fell onto Ban's metal face. He looked up in horror to see a saber-toothed golden metal tiger of leader level. Its eyes gleamed fiercely. Li Duong was also shocked, stammering leader level tiger. It bared its fangs and lunged. Luckily, the three reacted quickly and temporarily avoided the fatal blow. Ban trembled, "Boss. This tiger's eyes are strange. Run quickly from the shadows." Jang Han watched silently, thinking the leader-level sword tiger's combat strength is at least 50,000 points. Stronger than the wild boar king. Li Duong calmed down, took a cannon from his backpack, and shouted, "Don't panic. You two attract its attention. I'll use the cannon to deal with it." The other two looked at the sharp fangs and terrifying eyes of the tiger. Cold sweat broke out legs trembling as the tiger pounced. Ban panicked bald head, "Come here." He pushed the comrade forward as a human shield. The bald guy was immediately pinned down by the tiger's claws, screaming, "Help! Help! Help!" Ban ran on all fours towards Li Duong, shouting, "Boss, shoot quickly." Li Duong angrily yelled, "Don't scream." He hoisted the cannon on his shoulder, aiming straight at the tiger. "Baldy, rest in peace. I'll blast it to pieces." A burst of energy shot out and hit the tiger, causing it to roar in pain. But the blow didn't seem enough. The beast's eyes blazed, its face turned ferocious. It charged straight at Li Duong claws, knocking the cannon away and pinning him to the ground. In a flash, Li Duong screamed, "Ban, quickly recharge and kill it." Ban hurriedly picked up the cannon, laughing loudly, "Good. He recharged proudly, saying, "Boss, rest assured I'm coming." Li Duong gritted his teeth angrily. "What did you say?" Ban laughed loudly. "This gold mine is too valuable for me to pass up." The tiger bit and tore at Li Duong, who screamed miserably. Ban pulled the trigger. A cannon blast pierced the tiger's body, pushing it back. Jang Han silently admired from the shadows. The power of the cannon is really terrifying. He smirked, thinking to take advantage of the moment Ban reloads to take him down in one strike. Ban was still fumbling to recharge when suddenly a strange sound rang out. He screamed in horror, "Someone." But before he could react, Jang Han's soul-slicing blade cut the cannon in half. Ban trembled, clutching his wound, looking at Jang Han with full resentment. "It's you!" "You're still not dead. The meat was just at your mouth and got snatched, truly a mantis stalking a sparrow." Jang Han stepped forward coldly. "The wild boar king back then was also your masterpiece, wasn't it?" Ban broke out in a cold sweat, stammering, "Even the wild boar king couldn't kill you. You're really lucky, but you're only a marshal general. How dare you?" Jang Han stood tall before Ban, his eyes cold as blades. He raised the soul-slicing blade, voice deep but powerful. "Good begets good, evil begets evil. Doing bad deeds will eventually come with a price." The blade swung across Ban's neck, blood splattered, and his body collapsed. Jang Han coldly spat on the scum. "You died because you didn't recognize your own mistakes." Suddenly, a shadow slipped past behind Jang Han. Startled, he turned around in shock and exclaimed, "This Jiang sword tiger isn't dead yet." The golden bronze-white tiger, though severely wounded, charged forward at a terrifying speed. Jang Han leapt up, avoiding the pounce. As he landed, the tiger lunged again. He took momentum, jumped high, and with both hands tightly gripping the soul-severing blade, stabbed down hard. Unexpectedly, its skin was so tough that the blade didn't penetrate deeply, only partially piercing. The tiger growled fiercely and struggled violently, nearly throwing Jang Han off. It charged forward quickly, dragging Jang Han, who was clinging tightly on its back. Realizing its direction, it was heading toward the K-Kim mineral vein. Could it be trying to absorb power from there? The thought flashed through Jang Han's mind. He gritted his teeth, refusing to let it. If this beast absorbs the mineral vein, not only will its wounds heal, it will become stronger. People would be in danger. His gaze firm, gripping the blade handle tightly, he shouted, releasing all his power in this strike. He summoned all his strength to activate the 9 layers thunderblade and combined it with the unity strike, sending roaring electricity through the blade that paralyzed the white tiger, which howled in pain before collapsing and dying. Jang Han was slammed into a corner by the impact, aching all over. The system continuously announced, "Congratulations, host, you have defeated the advanced golden bronze white tiger elite beast and gained 124 to 572 experience points. Talent insight increased by 1 level. Mastery of 4 martial skills of the 9 layers. Thunderblade increased by 1,682 points. Experience mastery fully automatic level up. Congratulations, host, reached level 10, completing the rookie phase. Congratulations, host, unlocked the pet module and the quest module." Afterwards, Jang Han frowned and muttered, "This system is really crazy. What the heck is a pet module?" He checked his wounds, thinking his shoulder was badly injured and ribs probably broken. He needed treatment first. The information board appeared. Host Jang Han, combat power 23,485, level 10, strength 287, agility 275, stamina 283, vitality 281, experience 142 out of 260,000. Talent insight grade. A level 3 mastery 356 out of 6,000. Unity strike grade. B max martial skill. 9 layers. Thunderblade. Earth grade superior level 3 mastery. 3. 210 out of 88,000. Spatial system 527 out of 1,000. Quest Heaven Slayer progress 532 out of 1,000. Jang Han exhaled in relief. Luckily, he leveled up just in time. He had to bring the mineral vein and the white tiger corpse back to the steel camp. Suddenly, he heard a noise, thinking it was another beast. But it turned out to be the little white tiger he had met before. He smiled and held up a chunk of mineral vein. "Do you want this?" He threw the mineral chunk, and the little tiger jumped up, biting and chewing voraciously. The system announced again, "Do you want to establish a master-pet relationship with the golden bronze white tiger?" Jang Han thought for a moment. "A pet, huh? This little guy looks pretty cute. Let's try establishing it." He looked at the little tiger, his eyes sparkling with anticipation. Then Jang Han pressed the confirm button on the system. A notification sounded. "Master-pet relationship successfully established. Congratulations, host has acquired the pet golden bronze white tiger." The little white tiger snuggled close to him, its eyes shining brightly. The system displayed the pet info board. Little white, a golden bronze white tiger species. Level 1 experience, 632 out of 1,000 combat power. 253 innate golden bronze magic activated the pupil on its forehead, emits a high-temperature beam capable of melting metal growth, potential grade A. Jang Han thought silently. I didn't expect this little one to have grade A potential and possess innate magic. He quickly gathered the Jang Sword Tiger Corpse and the K-Kim mineral veins, determined to return to the steel camp for treatment first at the frontline Steel Field Hospital. After bandaging, the nurse smiled. "Your wounds will heal quickly. Is this little white tiger your pet?" "It's the first time I've seen such an adorable little white tiger." Little White raised a paw to cover its mouth as if laughing. Jang Han replied, "Its name is Little White." The nurse advised, "Your wounds have been treated, but you should rest a few days and not run around." He nodded, smiling lightly. "Thank you, but I have to go to the strange materials market to sell the loot." The nurse was horrified. "Oh my, you dare go to the sanctuary. That's truly reckless." At the shop, the aunt told Jang Han to come in loudly. "Is Boss Hua here? I'm here to sell items." Boss Hua appeared, smiling brightly. "Jang Han, you're back to the sanctuary early. What did you bring this time?" Jang Han replied, "Hello, Boss Hua. This time I bring the corpse of a beast. Please take a look." He took out from the ring the corpse of a saber-toothed tiger. Boss Hua widened his eyes. A saber-toothed tiger at the bronze-level domain lord? Jang Han, you are a martial master, but you killed a domain lord-level beast. Too strong. Jang Han forced a smile and corrected, Boss Hua, sorry I am already a martial general. Yes, Boss Hua was stunned. What? Just the other day you were a martial master. Now you have become a martial general in just a few days. Jang Han got straight to the point. Boss Hua, how much is this tiger's corpse worth? He hesitated, then answered, Don't worry, I'll give you the best price. The corpse is intact. Only one fatal stab wound, I'll pay 18 million. Yes, Jang Han nodded and thanked Boss Hua. I must take my leave now. As he turned, Boss Hua called out, Jang Han, wait, I have something to ask. He turned back surprised. Huh, what is it? Boss Hua stepped closer and lowered his voice. This tiger only appeared near the K Kim mineral vein. If you found it, surely there is a mineral vein. With all due respect, could you tell me about the K Kim mineral vein? Jang Han smiled and replied, Boss Hua, you are really perceptive, but I'm not ready to sell this gold mine yet. Boss Hua leaned in and whispered, I understand with my status I probably don't have the qualification, but if you want to sell, I will contact someone higher up for a private deal. Jang Han nodded. If you want to buy, it's not impossible. Yes. Boss Hua pointed upstairs, inviting, Follow me. He led Jang Han into a room. Just entering, Jang Han was amazed to see Lan Shi Tongyun. She smiled and greeted Jang Han. I heard you have a K Kim gold mine to sell. I am the highest person in charge of this shop. I want to buy the entire mine you have. After closing the deal, Jang Han held the bank card, feeling elated. More than 20 million K Kim minerals, definitely worth it, he thought to himself, to take the back roads to avoid trouble. The system suddenly announced, Congratulations to the signatory for completing the Heavenly Assassin mission reward. Talent slot card. Reward distributed. Congratulations on activating Stage 3 of the Heavenly Assassin mission. 10,000 people. Slaughter kill any 10,000 living beings. Reward talent slot X13. Jang Han's eyes brightened as he murmured, Talent slot card, so does that mean I can awaken the third talent? Jang Han clenched the awakening stone filled with hope. Now he could begin awakening. The stone flashed, a surge of energy poured into his body, feeling like it was being torn apart. Jang Han gritted his teeth, sweat pouring. The system suddenly sounded detected energy blocking awakening, energy absorbed and retained. Lightning exploded, surrounding his entire body. Jang Han roared in pain, his body trembling, finally collapsing to his knees. The system announced, Talent awakening complete. Congratulations, signatory for achieving S-rank thunderstorm talent. Little White anxiously ran over, rubbing his head against him. Jang Han's face was pale and panting, but inside he rejoiced. S-rank. Thunderstorm talent is truly powerful, but just awakened control is still weak. It hurts so much. He checked the signatory info board. Jang Han combat power 33, 346, level 10, strength 295, agility 281, stamina 286, spirit 354, experience 56, 321 out of 256,000, S rank. Thunderstorm talent LV1 proficiency 1 out of 10,000, A rank. Insight LV3 proficiency 556 out of 6,000, B rank. Mind unity. Strike max level. Thunderstorm increases lightning element. Application ability condenses. Thunderstorm to attack martial skill. 9-layer thunderblade. Earth grade superior. LV3 proficiency 5310 out of 8,000. Space system 527 out of 1,000. 10,000 people. Slaughter mission progress 7 out of 10,000. Pet Little White energy reserve 5.23. Jang Han laughed loudly. Combat power has surged past 30,000. I need to learn to control my fury soon. He carefully placed Xiaobai into his backpack and continued on his way, silently thinking, This S-grade talent is powerful but hard to control. The final exams are coming up. If a teacher could guide me, it would definitely be better. 3 days later at the academy, the students were buzzing with talk. One complained, It would be great if I got into Shui Mu, the top martial arts academy. A friend scoffed at his combat power. Don't dream. Born with useless martial power, just register at Jing University. The literature department is top-notch too. Baba Chang Hao patted Jang Han on the shoulder. Old Jang, don't worry. I already told my dad. Just register for the pharmacy department at Jing University. After graduation, come work at my family's company. I'll give you some shares. Talented brothers like us are rare. Jang Han shook his head. It's not about money. Actually, I want to try for the martial arts department. Chang Hao was surprised. With your combat power, which school would even accept you? Just then, Jang Han caught a glimpse of Li Chongyang passing by, frowning Li Wu Ho. Why is he here? Chang Hao was curious. Do you know him? Could he be here to organize the martial exam? Jang Han shook his head, thinking, a martial exam of this level? It wouldn't require a martial marquis as chief examiner. Not long ago, in a high-level conference room, a masked man spoke in a low voice, Old to you know the emergency situation well. The plan for combat power assessment has been approved by superiors. Don't make it hard for me. Old 2 replied sharply. Reforming the martial exam is your matter, not mine. But most of these kids haven't even reached a combat power of 1,000. Sending them to the wild to be tested is basically sending them to die. The beasts in the wilderness are becoming increasingly abnormal, you know that well. The masked man knelt and bowed, Old 2. I always remember the kindness you've shown me, but this situation is unavoidable. You may stop me, but not the nation's determination. The test location is set in the wilderness, but I promise to minimize casualties with my team. Old 2 sighed, stood up and left. I'm old. I can't change this world anymore. I leave it to you young people to do whatever you want. The masked man called out, Thank you, Old 2. Then turned to Li Chongyang. Chongyang are the students at Lan Shi under your charge. Settled. Li Chongyang nodded, but suddenly said, Boss, there's something. I met Cheng Gei's son in the wilderness. The masked man was shocked. What, Cheng Gei's son? Li Chongyang nodded with a serious tone. Yes, although I'm not certain it's probably correct. The masked man was delighted. Excellent, we've found Cheng Gei's son. Chongyang, you must secretly watch him closely. Be absolutely careful. Li Chongyang responded curtly, I understand. Scene shifts to the school. Students gathered densely under the stadium, whispering non-stop. Jang Han whispered to Chang Hao Haozi, maybe you were right. He's here because of the martial exam. Chang Hao frowned in confusion. What's going on today? Li Chongyang stepped onto the podium with a booming voice. Hello, everyone. I am Li Chongyang, chief examiner of this martial exam. This year's martial exam will be different. The nation has reformed the combat power testing method. From now on, the martial exam will be a real battle. All candidates must enter the wilderness to fight beasts to prove their ability. As soon as he finished, the stadium erupted into chaos. A student shouted, Why must we enter the wilderness? That place is so dangerous. Isn't testing inside the school safer? Another chimed in, Why reform just when our department's exam is, and it's such short notice? I'm not going. Are they asking us to risk our lives? My life is more important. Chang Hao stared at Jang Han, wide-eyed. Damn old Jang, the test is in the wilderness. Jang Han pondered silently. Things aren't simple. Something is happening. To enter the martial academy, you have to face beasts to prove your courage. If you don't dare to fight, how can you deserve to be a martial artist? Li Chongyang continued in a firm tone. The choice is yours. Those determined to take the exam stay. Those who don't want to leave immediately. Some students shook their heads. I'm not taking it anymore. Life is precious. I'll go to the wilderness, but I probably won't survive a day. Jang Han turned to Chang Hao Haozi. What do you think? Do you need to call your dad? Chang Hao sighed. Forget it. Even if I call him, he won't let me go. Have you decided? Jang Han smirked. I'm going. Chang Hao was surprised. With your little combat power, I'm afraid you'll get eaten by a mutant beast before you take 2 steps into the wild. He slapped Jang Han on the shoulder and laughed loudly. But you're a good brother. I will protect you. Jang Han put his hand on Chang Hao's shoulder gratefully. Thanks, Haozi. Chang Hao scoffed. What thanks, brother? I'm imagining you scrambling to pick up my bones right now. Li Chongyang shouted loudly. Everyone staying, get ready. In the next 15 minutes, a special train at the school gate will take you to the wild. This is the last chance to retreat. 3 hours later on the train to the testing site, Li Chongyang announced the rules. For 1 week, you are free to form teams of up to 5 people to hunt mutant beasts together. Mark the bodies to exchange for points. Different levels of mutant beasts have different points. The team with the highest score will be admitted to Shwimu University. A student shouted, 5 people per team looking for 4 strong teammates. I can just sit back and relax. Another showed off their combat power. I'm 906, talent level B. My moves are fast and powerful. Just need a few teammates with around 1,000 power and we're good. Wang Ren chimed in. Can our team be a medium squad? My combat power is 100, I'll protect you. Jang Han silently calculated his own combat power. It's okay not to form a team. If it's just me and Hyozi, we can be more flexible. Chang Hao spoke up, old Jang, don't worry. I'll find 3 more strong people to form a solid team. Seeing Jang Han hesitate, Chang Hao guessed he was worried about talent level C and reassured him. Don't worry, I'll handle everything. Li Chongyang announced the points. Low-level beast soldiers 10 points. Mid-level beast soldiers 15 points. High-level beast soldiers 20 points. Low, mid, and high-level beast commanders are 100, 200, and 300 points respectively. Teams killing mutant beast leaders will be directly admitted to Shwimu University. The minimum requirement for Shwimu is 500 points. Lu Jang Han calculated to reach 500 points, you have to kill 25 high-level beast soldiers. For candidates with around 1,000 combat power, this isn't easy. He turned to Chang Hao Haozi, sees a good spot and start hunting monsters. 1 week isn't long, but there's no need to rush. First, find a place to study how to fight back. Chang Hao nodded and pointed to a big tree. That spot isn't bad. Li Chongyang watched Jang Han from afar, thinking to himself, let's see how the son of Changge performs. Under the canopy of the giant tree, Jang Han sat with the team thoughtfully outlining the strategy. He silently reviewed the strategy. The other 3 had about 800 combat power above average. Getting into the first-level university isn't hard, but how to help them without revealing their true strengths? Thong Hao stood up and shouted, the team is formed, I propose old Jiang as captain. The blonde guy immediately objected, I disagree. If I remember correctly, Jang Han only awakened a heavy attack talent at sea level. His combat power is at most 4,000, right? Thong Hao dismissed that old Jiang may not be the strongest, but he's the smartest here. A captain needs a mind that can analyze and know when to attack and when to retreat. Yeah. The blonde guy still grumbled in dissatisfaction. I reserve my opinion. Ask the others. Jang Han held the map, speaking coolly. Captain is just a title. If there's a problem, we discuss it together. I have a suggestion. Listen up. Different beasts have different combat powers, and their reward points don't always match their strength. Our team should only hunt low-level beast soldiers. I've studied the map and plotted a safe route focusing on areas with many low-level beasts. Triu Kuang nodded. I agree. This route is safe and suits us well. Yes, Wang Yim also supported I agree too. Thong Hao laughed loudly. All right, let's follow this route then. Form the battle lineup. How to, you have the strength talent and high-level armor be the main attack spearhead. I, Triu Kuang, have defense talent, will handle the second wave of attack. Vuong Yim and Tu Fung will act as support depending on the situation. The whole team said in unison, Okay. Thuong Hao proudly said, See, I told you old Jiang should be captain. This route is perfect. Our team will travel the farthest. Suddenly, Jang Han's face turned serious, raising his hand to silence the team. Something's not right. He shouted loudly, Watch out, a 2-horned rhinoceros is charging from the bushes. Combat power around 800. Thuong Hao excitedly charged, Ha ha, 2-horned rhino, take my blow. Commander Jang Han shouted, How to, don't be reckless. But it was too late. Thuong Hao was thrown into the air by the rhino. The whole team immediately charged in. Jang Han stood back, commanding How to, don't attack simultaneously with Triu Kuang, alternate drawing its attention. The rhino has strong defense. Triu Kuang will block it, don't let it escape. Vuong Yim, don't stand there, dumb, enhance Triu Kuang's body. The whole team shouted, Okay. After some coordination, the rhino collapsed. Thong Hao sat down exhausted. Ha ha, done, we won. The others also breathed a sigh of relief. Vuong Yim exclaimed, Wow, the wilderness really is a strange place. How is everyone? Jang Han ran over worried. Is everyone okay? Triu Kuang laughed loudly. No problem, second uncle. I've said before, if you want to be a warrior, you can't be afraid of getting hurt, let alone dying. Thung Hao nodded, old Jang, you're really awesome staying calm in a crisis. Luke Jang Han spoke seriously as he marked the body for records. This rhino's combat power was 800, equal to 4 of you. Logically, we should have taken it down in 2 waves of attack. This time our coordination was poor. Next time we must be more careful. He looked at Thuong Hao. Hao Tu, you're the main attacker. You must seize the opportunity. Don't waste energy by attacking continuously. Trio Kung has high defense but must dodge. No armor can last forever. Vuong Nim, your muscles can only enhance one person, but recovery is fast. Alternate supporting the 2 attackers. Tu Phuong, be careful finding your position before striking. You almost hurt teammates. The whole team awkwardly said in unison. Got it. Luke Jang Han thought quietly. Being captain really isn't easy. Jang Han's team carefully moved through the wilderness following the pre-planned route. Thuong Hao suddenly curiously asked old Jang, have you never been to the wilderness before? Yet you have more experience than us. Jang Han paused, his gaze sharp. Be careful. Movement from 3 rats. Jang shouted, prepare to fight. The whole team immediately charged. Thanks to experience from the previous fight this time, they coordinated more smoothly. Thuong Hao launched a powerful strike. Trio Kwong blocked the front, while Vuong Nim and Tu Phuong supported in time. Jang Han stood behind, satisfied, praising Hao Tu. Great attack, keep coordinating like this. In just a moment, 3 rats were taken down. Jang Han ordered, take a break. The consecutive battles have drained a lot of energy. Have some rations. The whole team sat around. Thuong Hao opened the leaderboard and cursed angrily. Damn it, the top 3 teams already have over 500 points and we only have 76 points, ranked 584th, lagging far behind by 3,000 Shuang. Sighing. Tuimak asked for 1,000 points. How can we catch up? Vuong Nim cut into the leading team. So strong already, over 500 points just like that. Jang Han thought silently, faster than expected, but no problem. On day 3, I will bring the team to the top of the leaderboard. He smiled and replied to Thuong Hao, worrying about strength on paper is useless. Thuong Hao was surprised. Old Jang, how are you so calm? Going somewhere. Jang Han smiled brightly. You guys rest. I'm going around here to find some food. Only when we're full do we have the strength to hunt monsters. After a while, he returned, dragging the carcass of a large deer. The whole team gathered around the fire, enjoying the fragrant roasted venison. Vuong Nim praised, Captain, this roasted meat is delicious. It's the first time I've eaten something this good. Trio Kung nodded. Old Jang's cooking skills are not to be underestimated. Thuong Hao was curious. Old Jang, where did you get this deer? Jang Han replied casually. Just patrolling and hunting at the same time. Suddenly, Tu Phuong stood up, pointing at the sky. Everyone look, a signal flare. The whole team froze. A blazing red light shot up. Thuong Hao stammered, Tier 2 hunting beast? Trio Kung panicked. Second brother, I'm telling you, Tier 2 hunting beasts can break through the steel defense line. Vuong Nim trembled. There's even a Tier Lord level rare beast. Quickly return to the steel defense line. Jang Han shouted, run immediately to the front line. Li Chungjung received the alert, clutching his head, worried. Tier 2 hunting beasts outbreak is spreading widely. Reinforcements arriving in 5 minutes. Evacuation order for contestants immediately. The system speaker continuously broadcasted the emergency alert. All contestants must immediately retreat to the steel defense line. Tier 2 hunting beasts are erupting, retreat quickly. The whole area descended into chaos. Students scattered, running screams echoed. Help, this is terrifying! Jang Han shouted, stop talking, run! A loud explosion rang out as the hunting beasts charged. Thuong Hao and Vuong Nim ran behind but couldn't dodge in time. The other 3 stopped and looked at the approaching beasts. Tu Phuong, the only girl in the team, panicked and ran screaming, sorry, I can't save you all. Jang Han gritted his teeth, eyes cold. Damn it, scared to die. Trio Kung angrily cursed and shouted back, Vuong Nim, I'm coming to save you. Thuong Hao, though struggling, yelled loudly, Old Jang, run, don't worry. Remember to avenge me, okay, Vuong Nim? Covered in wounds. Thuong Hao blurted out, I've dragged everyone down. At worst, we die together. The rare beasts charged. The 3 hugged each other in despair, seemingly doomed. Suddenly, Jang Han appeared, the soul-blade flashing, blocking a fatal blow. The 3 struggled to stand. Thuong Hao asked in astonishment, Old Jang, you're not holding back anymore. Jang Han drew his blade energy, erupting, voice cold. Get out of here quickly. This battle isn't something you can take part in. Thuong Hao and Trio Kung gaped at his formidable aura. Jang Han activated the 9-fold thunderblade, slashing with lightning crackling along the blade. easily taking down the rare beasts in front of him. Thung Hao was stunned. What the hell is that, old Jang? Are you really old Jang, not a C-tier talent? Jang Han turned and shouted, "How? Why are you still standing there, run?" Thung Hao shook his head firmly. "I'm not running, don't want to run." Jang Han angrily, "Don't talk nonsense. If you die, I'm not picking up your body, run now." Tru Kung pulled Thung Hao's arm. "Run quickly, he took down 3 beast commanders in one strike, staying won't help." Thung Hao looked back and shouted, "Old Jang, see you at the steel defense line." Jang Han smirked, thinking, "Finally, I can rampage freely." He charged into the rare beasts, the soul/blade, crackling with S-tier lightning talent, thunder exploding, shattering each beast. The system continuously announced, "Congratulations to the host for killing a Tier 3 primary beast commander, earning 438 experience points. Thunder talent Thunderstorm gained 89 proficiency. Ninefold Lightning Blade gained 99 proficiency. Congratulations to the host for killing a Tier 1 Spear Beast Commander, earning 429 experience points. Thunder Fury, total proficiency 82. Heavy Thunderblade, total proficiency 93. Congratulations to the account holder for killing the intermediate Flame Lake Beast Lord, gaining 682 experience points. Thunder Fury, total proficiency 124. Heavy Thunderblade, total proficiency 165. What? A loudspeaker announced, "The entrance is closed. Withdraw to the steel defense line in 5 minutes." Chang Ha worriedly said, "What, the entrance is closed?" But Lao Jiang still hasn't returned. Wang Yim whispered, "Captain, we haven't escaped yet because we were rescuing them." A martial artist replied, "Quickly retreat to the defense line. We will try to save your teammates." Chang Hao angrily said, "No, I have to go back to save Lao Jiang." Li Chongyang interrupted, "Are you guys on the same team as Jang Han?" Chang Hao nodded. "Yes, Lao Jiang alone held off the monsters to save us. Hurry and save him." Li Chongyang dashed off, thinking, "Jang Han, son of Than Ka, you must not die." Over here, Jang Han is solo fighting an intermediate wild beast lord. With his current combat power, he's confident to kill as many beast lords as there are. System notification. Congratulations, account holder, for killing intermediate wild beast lord, gaining 675 experience points. Thunder Fury, total proficiency 124. Heavy Thunderblade, total proficiency 165. Suddenly, a giant figure appeared. Jang Han froze, intermediate mountain beast king lord. A beast uprooted a huge tree and swung it straight at him. Jang Han jumped back to dodge, gathering a lightning orb and threw it forcefully. The orb hit the mountain beast king's face. It only got angrier and charged forward. Jang Han continuously retreated, thinking, "This one can take a hit too well. It swept its arm, I barely dodged. I think if I get hit by this, I'll be minced meat." And the system suddenly triggered and released stored energy. 4 attributes of the account holder increased. A pale blue energy layer surrounded Jang Han. He shouted, "Take this!" Combat power exploded. Jang Han dashed like lightning, slashing a sharp blade, then followed up with a lightning orb. The mountain beast king scorched smoke, billowing eyes blazing red. Just as Jang Han thought it was time for a major battle, it suddenly turned and fled. He was stunned. Running because you can't win." Jang Han sneered, chasing after it. "Using all my energy, and you still want to run. Let's see where you can hide." Without hesitation, Jang Han summoned a huge lightning orb, glowing like purple flame, throwing it straight at the Beast King. Meanwhile, Li Chongyang was searching for Jang Han when he suddenly received an urgent message. Marshal Marquis Li Chongyang ordered by superiors to immediately return to the steel defense line to organize a rescue plan. He muttered with a tense expression, "Damn, looks like I can't stay here any longer." Suddenly, Li Chongyang's eyes caught dazzling lightning flashes in the distant forest. A surge of fierce energy exploded, making him frown, thinking, "This power must be a fierce beast of lord level." Without hesitation, he dashed toward the light heart, burning like fire. "Let's see where you run now." At the same time, Jang Han happily fired countless lightning orbs straight at the Beast King. After just a few moments, the Beast King fell, its huge body collapsing to the ground. Jang Han stood on this corpse pile, cold and contemptuous, taunting, "Now try running away again." The system announced, "Congratulations, account holder, for eliminating the intermediate lord-level abnormal beast Mountain Beast King. Gained 4,892 experience points. Thunder Fury talent level increased by 965. Li Chongyang arrived just in time to witness the battlefield littered with abnormal beast corpses. He looked at Jang Han in astonishment and said in a deep voice, "Did you do all of this?"
May.
Or was it Jang Han? He hesitated, answering shyly. I was pushed into a desperate situation by the Mountain Beast King, so I drank a potion that temporarily boosted my strength. Fortunately, I managed to defeat it. He scratched his head and smiled awkwardly. Actually, it was partly luck. Chongyang frowned with a serious tone. Taking down a Lord-level monster alone is no small feat. If you're not busy, come to the steel defense line to join the rescue team. With your current combat ability, this won't be difficult. Jang Han nodded, but still curiously asked, "Okay, but how widespread is this level 2 beast tide?" Chongyang replied thoughtfully, "It's still unclear, but many areas have been devastated. All Lord-level abnormal beasts must be eliminated to prevent the beast tide from spreading. I still have to go rescue the others. Hurry back to the steel defense line." With that, he transformed into a beam of light and flew off. "Yes," Jang Han muttered as he watched. "Humph, the reinforcements are urgent, but first I have to collect the spoils." He glanced at the giant corpse of Sun Hung Vuong and sighed. "This body is too big, I can't carry it. I'll just let the main army clean up the battlefield." Looking at the chaotic group of mutated beasts below, he marveled at how this level 2 mutated beast wave had devastated such a large area. Suddenly, a piercing cry for help echoed from afar. Turning around, Jang Han saw two girls surrounded and trapped by a pack of mutated beasts. The younger girl, Teo-an, panicked and clung tightly to her sister, her voice trembling. "Chi-Tuit, I'm so scared. Are we going to die?" Although scared, Chi-Tuit tried to reassure her, "Teo-an, hold on to me and don't say anything more. I will definitely get you out of here safely." But before she finished, a giant bear rammed a tree trunk hard, causing Teo-an to slip and fall. Mai, instead of Chi-Tuit, quickly grabbed her sister's arm, shouting, "Hold on tight, don't let go." Teo-an's tears streamed down as she trembled. "Chi-Tuit, I'm really scared." A fierce leopard climbed a tree, baring its fangs and growling. Chi-Tuit gritted her teeth, preparing to face the danger, but both of them thought this time it would be hard to escape the claws of the mutated beasts. Jang Han witnessed the scene and couldn't help but feel distressed seeing Teo-an's tears. Without hesitation, he dashed forward like a lightning bolt, ready to rescue. Like a flash of lightning, Jang Han streaked past the fierce leopard, instantly slicing it in half, blood splattering everywhere. Teo-an cheered, her eyes shining brightly. "The Marquise is here!" Chi-Tuit, we're saved. In the blink of an eye on the other side was Jang Han, who had swiftly taken down several mutated beasts nearby. Chi-Tuit breathed a relieved sigh and exclaimed happily, "That's great, we are saved." Suddenly a weak branch snapped loudly, causing Chi-Tuit to lose her footing and fall. Jang Han reacted instantly, rushing to catch her while simultaneously unleashing thunder and lightning on the mutated beasts waiting below with open jaws. As they touched down, he asked in a deep, warm voice, "Are you okay, Chi-Tuit?" Blushing and embarrassed, she replied, I'm fine, thank you for saving us." Teo-an also ran over anxiously, calling for her sister Chi-Tuit. Then Jang Han took out a small vial and handed it to the two. "I've temporarily pushed back the mutated beasts. You two should quickly evacuate to the steel defense line. This vial helps restore vitality and has some calming effects. Drink it." Chi-Tuit gratefully said in a trembling voice, "Thank you for saving us." "What is your name? When we return, we will repay you." Jang Han smiled and waved his hand. "No need to thank me. Just get out of here quickly, I have other things to do." With that, he dashed away, his figure disappearing in an instant. He suddenly noticed smoke and fire rising a few miles away from his location. He frowned, thinking silently, "What's happening over there?" While deep in thought, a notification sounded in his head. Detected a large gathering of mutated beasts of lieutenant level and some overlord level mutated beasts at the Mutated Beast Center. An emergency summon order. All marquises and great generals must immediately proceed to the target location. Others should evacuate quickly. Jang Han hesitated briefly, muttering, "The Mutated Beast Center is ahead. With my current combat strength, it's hard to face overlord-level mutated beasts. Well, let's go check the situation first." Having decided, he resolutely rushed toward the smoke and fire. There, Trong Duong and another marquis were surrounded by a pack of mutated beasts. He shouted tensely, Has the notification been sent? The other replied, Sent, but the main army from the steel defense line will take at least half an hour to arrive. Trong Duong gritted his teeth. All right, for the next half hour, we are the bait. Absolutely do not let these 6 overlord-level mutated beasts tear us apart. Just then, a humanoid mutated beast roared, Die! It fired a terrifying energy blast straight at the two. Trong Duong swung his blade, breaking the attack, and sneered, Just a beast. Want to die, come and get it. An angry mutated beast flapped its wings and charged forward. Trong Duong swiftly swung his blade, slicing off one of its wings. He cursed, Damn it! It then attracted other lieutenant-level mutated beasts nearby. The two of us might not be able to hold off this crowd. No matter what, we have to stand firm. The main army is almost here. Both continued charging into close combat, blood and energy raging wildly. Suddenly, a brilliant beam of light shot out from somewhere, wiping out several mutant beasts. In an instant, both humans and beasts were stunned, all looking in the same direction. They only saw Jang Han standing firm in the middle of the battlefield, carrying a laser cannon on his shoulder. Trong Duong was astonished. Why is this kid here? The other person was also surprised. Who is this kid? Has he lost his mind? Trong Duong sighed seriously. Jang Han, son of Tanka. The other's eyes widened. What, he's Tanka's son? Trong Duong nodded. Yes, he's a candidate taking the exam this year. By now, Jang Han had fully charged his energy, combining the thunderstorm talent with the one-heart strike skill to enhance the laser cannon's power. A dazzling beam shot out easily, punching a large hole in the mutant beast's body. System notification. Congratulations, host, for defeating sect leader Tong Hak Hung. You have gained 11,131 experience points, and your thunderstorm talent level has increased by 68. From afar, Jang Han continuously fired, causing the mutant beasts to panic. The monsters, agitated by the slaughter of their kind, roared and charged at him, opening a new life-or-death battle. Jang Han slowly put down the laser cannon, drew the gleaming Thai Hon Dao from its sheath, his eyes blazing with murderous intent. He roared angrily, Die, you bastards! Activating all his berserk skills, Jang Han charged into the mutant beasts like a whirlwind, cutting and killing without mercy. Li Miu, wearing a mask and holding the rank of Marshal Marquis, witnessed Jang Han's performance and couldn't help but turn to Trong Duong suspiciously. You said this kid came to take the exam, are you sure? Only 18 years old, and our combat power back then probably didn't exceed 10,000 right. He continued analyzing, That's not right. All S-level talented students are specially recruited by Tuimak University immediately after awakening. The others only reach A-level talent, and their combat power absolutely cannot surpass the martial artist rank. Hearing Li Miu's analysis, Trong Duong also looked at Jang Han with suspicion. Suddenly, a terrifying roar shook the heavens as the fierce Von Duke Kim Von Ho opened its jaws wide, releasing a massive energy blast directly at Jang Han. Charging forward, Li Miu shouted in panic, Oh my God, that overlord-level mutant beast is targeting him! Luckily, the tiger dodged the strike from the sharp claws. The tiger, angry at missing its prey, flapped its wings and spun around lightning fast to charge again. Though terrified facing an overlord-level mutant beast, Jang Han gritted his teeth and yelled, I'm not afraid of overlord-level mutant beasts. He raised the Thai Hon Dao high, activated the blood frenzy skill, and charged straight at the monster. I'm going to finish you off. Damn it. Li Miu, surrounded and breathless from mutant beasts' attacks, tore off his mask, eyes wide, as he looked at the reckless Jang Han. He broke into a cold sweat and muttered, Has this kid lost his mind? Daring to face an overlord-level mutant beast. Trong Duong also worriedly shouted, Jang Han, you absolutely can't withstand the full force of an overlord-level mutant beast. But in just a moment, Jang Han was knocked back by the tiger, his whole body out of control, floating midair. A thunderous explosion sounded as he landed, dust swirling, fresh blood dripping from the corner of the Von Duke Kim Von Ho's mouth that still refused to stop. Taking advantage of Jang Han's exhaustion, it growled, Stupid humans. It lunged forward, preparing to deliver a fatal blow. Trong Duong and Li Miu were held back by the overlord-level mutant beasts, unable to rush to help, only able to scream helplessly. Jang Han stood up, and Li Miu shouted, Jang Han, get up quickly! In a daze, Jang Han barely opened his eyes and saw the tiger charging toward him at terrifying speed. His body ached all over and was immobile, thinking, Am I about to die now? If I die, it's over, how boring. Just then, a sudden shield appeared blocking the tiger's attack and saving Jang Han from death by a hair. The Vunju Kim Van Ho growled angrily. The one who appeared was none other than Dung Huyen, the leading martial marquis, bringing a squad of elite warriors to the timely rescue. Dung Huyen ordered coldly, "Focus on killing them one by one. Yes, I will deal with this Van Duk Kim Van Ho first. You all go support Lee." Trong Dung and the soldiers replied in unison, "Yes," and then immediately charged into the battle, cutting and killing without mercy. The arrival of Dung Huyen quickly reversed the situation. The beast tide was no longer as threatening as before. Trong Duong breathed a sigh of relief and laughed loudly. "With Dung Huyen here, this battle is easy." Tao. The Van Duk Kim Van Tiger was furious, opening its dreadful jaws to reveal sharp fangs, gathering a giant electric thunderball aimed straight at Dung Huyen. But Dung Huyen was undaunted. He tightly gripped his spear, a swirling vortex of energy converging at the spear tip. In the blink of an eye, Dung Huyen leapt and unleashed a critical strike, piercing a large hole in the tiger's body. Its massive body crashed to the ground, causing the earth to shake violently. Witnessing this awe-inspiring fight, Jang Han couldn't help but exclaim in amazement, "This guy is so strong!" Dung Huyen was like a whirlwind, swinging his sharp spear, taking down the Van Duk Kim Van Tiger. Without stopping, he immediately shifted his target to the fierce Bloodblade. In a flash, Bloodblade also fell, its red blood flooding the ground. Jang Han widened his eyes silently, thinking this power far exceeded a martial marquis level. What lost in thought? His eyes suddenly grew heavy and slowly closed, his body weakening in pain. Dung Huyen's voice rang decisively like a hammer striking steel. "Clear this area. Hunt down all level Lord-class mutant beasts." After finishing, prioritize ensuring the safety of all students. "The rest of the matters will be handled when I return. I will take Jang Han for treatment first." Now, Scene 4 cuts to the hospital at the steel defense line. In the emergency room, doctors worked hard to save him. "We must do everything we can to save this young man, understood?" Yet outside, Dung Huyen was video calling Duong Van, recounting the entire event. He spoke solemnly. "I want you to know Jang Han is my nephew and also your nephew. If anything happens to him, I will never let it slide." To him, Duong Van angrily shouted, "Little Van, listen to me explain." But she cut him off with a trembling voice. "I don't want to hear any more. I'm coming there right now." With that, the screen abruptly went dark. A doctor stepped out of the operating room and said, "General Duong, the surgery is complete." But Dung Huyen hurriedly asked anxiously, "What's the result?" And the doctor replied, "We did our best and succeeded. All the patient's internal organs have been sutured and all blockages removed. However, the patient lost too much blood and has not yet awakened from the coma." Dung Huyen breathed a sigh of relief as if a weight had been lifted. "Oh, good. Well done." The doctor smiled and added, "No need for an envelope, a transfer will do. We are honored to treat warriors who sacrifice for the wilderness." Suddenly, Duong Van hurried over, grabbed Dung Huyen by the collar and shouted, "Dung Huyen, how is little Han?" He awkwardly replied, "Little Van, you came too fast." And she snapped, "Stop stammering. I'm asking how little Han is doing." And a few days later, Jang Han woke up, sat up confused, and asked, "How long have I been unconscious?" And seeing him awake, Dung Huyen replied happily, "You were in a coma for 3 days. The beast tide has also ended." Jang Han was surprised. 3 days. Were there many people injured this time? Dung Huyen's face suddenly darkened. He sighed. Statistics show a total of 732 students have died. Like a thunderbolt, Jang Han asked anxiously, "What about my teammates?" Dung Huyen slowly stood and replied, "They are all fine. In this beast tide, you saved many people and killed quite a few level Lord-class mutant beasts. Thanks to that, you and your teammates are all qualified to enter Tui Mok University." He paused, his eyes serious. "There is one more thing you need to consider carefully. I am Dung Huyen, captain of the Ghost Squad. With your outstanding performance in this battle, I want to invite you to join the squad. Are you willing?" Luke Jang Han's eyes widened excitedly. "Ghost Squad." But Dung Huyen explained, "Yes, all members of the Ghost Squad are above martial marquis level. Li Trong Duong, whom you met, is also a member." Without hesitation, Jang Han nodded eagerly. "No need to think twice. Of course I want to join." Dung Huyen smiled. "Then welcome to you. Once you recover, we'll arrange the mission." Jang Han jumped up, pounding his chest. "My body has no problems at all." But then he suddenly remembered and anxiously asked, "By the way, how is my teammate Thung Hao?" Dung Huyen frowned. Thung Hao got into a conflict with someone named Tien Fong during the evacuation. He was slightly injured and is currently imprisoned. Jang Han frowned, his voice urgent. Thung Hao is my good brother. That Tin Feng guy had conflicts with us before. Please take me to see him right now. Jung Huyen hurriedly reassured, don't worry anymore. Not long after, at the Steel Defense Line prison, an old gray-haired man loudly shouted at the fools. You at this Steel Defense Line, I bravely fight the enemies at the front line. Yet you dare lock up my son here. Release him immediately. From inside the cell, a frantic voice cried out, Dad! Dad, let me out quickly. It turned out that the long-haired guy was Tien Fong, and the old man was his father, Tien An Quoc. Thung Hao stood in the corner looking at the father and son, irritably wanting to rush over and throw a few punches. Tien An Quoc stubbornly yelled, My son is a warrior. According to regulations, you have no right to detain him without a valid reason. Just then, Dung Huyen stepped forward, his tone cold. Do you have any questions? Tien An Quoc turned his head, startled for a moment, General Dung. At the same time, Thung Hao saw Jang Han and happily shouted, Old Jang, Old Jang. You're really alive, that's great. Tien An Quoc turned back to confront Dung Huyen, questioning General Dung. Even if it's your order, my son cannot be arrested without cause, right? Dung Huyen replied sternly, Your son. Tien Fong, when the beast tide broke out, instead of retreating united with everyone else, deliberately attacked other martial artists, using their lives to hold back the beast tide. Meanwhile, he ran away. Tien An Quoc remained stubborn and brazen. General Dung, this is just one-sided talk. It can't be trusted. To accuse, there must be evidence, otherwise it's just slander. Dung Huyen sneered, Evidence. If you want, I will have someone investigate immediately. At that moment, Jang Han stepped forward, interrupting the captain. This concerns my teammate. Why not let me handle it? Thung Hao anxiously called out to old Jang. Tien An Quoc frowned, gritting his teeth, growling at Jang Han. Humph kid, where did you come from? What right do you have to interfere in this matter? Jang Han calmly approached, his eyes sharp. If your son has hurt my brothers in Huang Nguyen, then settle it with Huang Nguyen's ways. Sin Tu Dai, he declared firmly, I came here to issue a one-on-one solo challenge with your son Tien Fong. After a while, the group was released. Vung Nyim recounted the situation, her voice full of indignation. Here's what happened when everyone was retreating. That bastard Tien Fong killed many people, almost leaving us only able to visit home on the 1st and 15th of the month. Thung Hao, hot-tempered, shouted, Enough that scumbag. I really want to cut him down to avenge those who have passed. He turned seriously to Jang Han. Luckily, old Jang is okay, but with such a serious wound, do you really want to go to Sin Tu Dai against Tien Fong? Jang Han replied firmly, I told you I will definitely avenge you all. How, don't worry too much. Unexpectedly, Triu Kung came up from behind, placing his hand on Jang Han's shoulder, declaring Jang Han, I was wrong to underestimate you before. Don't hold it against me. This time you saved our lives. From now on, this life is yours. Jang Han smiled shyly. We're friends. I don't need your life, haha. Li Chongjung also spoke up. The duel time is set for 5 p.m. I will help you arrange formations to ensure Tien An Quoc doesn't interfere. Also, you need to prepare well to enter the Tui Mok University. I have removed Tien Fong from your team. Hearing this, all three were amazed and joyfully shouted together. Ah, we really passed the Tui Mok University exam. Thung Hao was emotional. Boo-hoo, am I dreaming? Who can slap me to see if it hurts? Li Chongjung looked at Jang Han and reminded, Prepare carefully, especially your wound, Han. Jang Han smiled calmly and replied, Don't worry, nothing will happen. See you all at Sin Tu Dai. In the blink of an eye, the appointed time had come. Relatives from both families, close and distant friends, all gathered in full. Cheers and shouts of encouragement rang through the air. The atmosphere was as lively as a festival at a martial arts arena. The two formidable fighters appeared. Tien Feng pointed directly at Jang Han's face and growled, Kid, soon I'll show you what a power gap really means. Jang Han, dressed in a white shirt and elegant slacks, calmly replied, All right, I'll try to learn from you. The three referees raised their hands and declared in hollow voices, Both sides have signed the life and death contract. Life and death will be decided by each person's own methods. Outsiders are not allowed to intervene. The official life and death duel begins. Slowly, the crowd's cheers for Tien Feng thundered. Tien Feng will surely win. Take him down quickly! Tien An Guo, Tien Feng's father, shouted loudly. Tien Feng, don't be merciful, finish it quickly! They even called the uncles to cheer. Tonight there will be a celebration party for the son. Shang Hao, hearing this, angrily turned and cursed. Yeah, don't celebrate too soon. We don't know who will win or lose yet. Wang Ren also enthusiastically cheered Jang Han on. That mouth of yours will never grow ivory tusks. Qian Anguo glanced at Li Zhongyang and taunted Li Zhongyang. Even though you don't know why you and Yang Xuan protect this kid, after today you won't see him again, haha. Qianfeng smirked maliciously. 5 years with a sword in this kid's hand, the strategic gap can't be bridged by loyalty alone. He raised his sword, pointing straight at Jang Han, coldly saying, If you stand up to protect your friend, I'll kill you first. Then slowly torture your friends one by one until they die. Jang Han kept a disdainful expression. Then come on, bring it on. Without another word, Qianfeng swung his sword forward. Jang Han raised the Tai Hun Dao to block one strike. A clash of swords sparked flames. The ringing clang echoed non-stop. The amazed audience below exclaimed, Oh, my Qianfeng's awakened talent is an A-level sword intent. This talent is too fierce. His combat strength must be at least 30,000, right? Jang Han retracted his blade like someone throwing a deadly slash, sneering coldly. Ha? Is that all? Full of flaws. In an instant, he chopped Qianfeng's sword using force to spin it in the air, then drove it into the ground. The audience gasped. Really? He disarmed Qianfeng with a single strike. Qian Anguo angrily shouted, Just a coincidence! Feng Ni, show him your strength. Jang Han showed no hesitation. Tai Hun Dao moved aside, disdainfully saying no weapon was needed. I still have enough strength to kill you! Qianfeng gritted his teeth and shouted furiously. Kid, you're looking for death! He threw a punch straight at Jang Han. Calm as a lake, Jang Han raised his hand and summoned a brilliant electric thunderball. Qian Anguo, witnessing this, couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. He thought silently, how could this kid use such advanced martial arts? He panicked and shouted loudly, Feng Ni, get out of the way, quickly! Although Qianfeng heard his father, his blood was boiling. Being disarmed and mocked by Jang Han in front of everyone, how could he accept retreat unexpectedly as he charged? Jang Han tightly grasped the thunderball. He threw a thunderous punch. The tremendous force sent Qianfeng flying hard into the barricade and crashing to the ground. His whole body went numb, eyes rolled back, mouth agape, armor scorched, internal organs shattered. Electric aftershocks crackled around him. Qian Anguo, in pain, like cut by knives, rushed to the arena, yelling, Kid, you dare kill my son. I will make you pay with your life. But Li Zhongyang leapt forward to block him coldly, saying, The life or death duel isn't over. No one may interfere. Violators will be killed. Qian Anguo gritted his teeth, eyes blazing with fury. Li Zhongyang, do you really want to stop me? But Zhongyang just stood silently without a word. His firm stance said it all. Qian Anguo helplessly turned to his son lying on the ground, his voice threatening with rage. You brat, don't you dare touch my son! Jang Han, with ice-cold eyes radiating sharp killing intent, stared straight at the exhausted Qianfeng lying on the ground, body drained of strength. Don't let me touch him. That just makes me want to touch him even more. So what? Qianfeng stammered weakly, oh. Jang Han spoke coldly. As a martial artist, when facing a beast, you betrayed and killed your teammates to run away alone. This alone is unforgivable. Finishing his words, he focused the remaining electric shock device on Qianfeng's body. He concentrated it all on the neck. Qianfeng's eyes immediately panicked. His shabby expression was a far cry from the arrogant look he had at first. Jang Han clenched the electric shock device tightly in his palm. The energy concentrated on Qianfeng's neck exploded with a crackling sound. His neck bones shattered. Tian Anquik roared, charging at Jang Han with bloodshot eyes. You bastard, how dare you kill my son! But in an instant, Trong Dung blocked his path, activating his gravity affinity. A terrifying pressure surged toward Tian Anquik. Even though he was also a martial marquis before that power, he had to stop and raised both hands to defend. Trong Dung shouted, Tian Anquik, do you really want to die here with your son? Tian Anquik growled with hatred. He killed my son. I want him to pay with his life. Trong Jung snorted coldly, continuing to warn, right in front of the students, if you act violently and accidentally hurt someone, how many lives do you have to pay for? Tian Anquik knew he could do nothing. He looked up and screamed, Let go of your anger. He gritted his teeth, staring fiercely at Jang Han. Kid, they might protect you for now, but they can't protect you forever. One day I will make you pay blood for blood. Before leaving, he left a bitter remark. If I can't get revenge, I'll go to Thailand to transition. Hearing that both Trong-dung and Jang Han were speechless. After everything ended, Trong-dung stepped onto the stage, his voice ringing out, "The match is over. I have an announcement due to the influence of the beast. The assessment ended 2 days early. The points from the beasts you hunted in Hoan Nguyen have been tallied. Dear students, please check the top ranking list. Squad 430 Captain Jang Han members Thương Hao Triều Cương Vương Nhiễm total score 1200. They killed 1 high-level domain lord, 1 mid-level domain lord, 5 low-level domain lords, 12 beast generals, and many ordinary beasts." The crowd buzzed, eyes wide, jaws dropped. This is Jang Han's team. How did they kill so many domain-level beasts? It's possible Vung Nhiem and Thung Hao were also equally surprised. Is our team really the top one? Damn it, old Jang, did you kill all of these? Yes, Trong-dung continued. You will receive your score sheets. Students who passed the assessment, please return and wait for further announcements. Then he turned and called out loudly, Jang Han. Wait a moment. I'll take you to meet some people. Jang Han nodded. Yes, sir. After a while, Trong-dung led Jang Han into a closed room and said, There are 3 people brought here, 2 men and 1 woman. It seems they've been waiting. Yes, Trong-dung introduced Jang Han. These are members of the Ghost Squad who will also be your teammates in the future. Let me introduce. This is Lee Mew, a high-level martial marquis with a water element affinity. This is Kim Ho, a mid-level martial marquis with a metal element affinity. And this is Hua Nien, a mid-level martial marquis with a physical affinity. Kim Ho laughed loudly, patting Jang Han on the shoulder. Jang Han, we're teammates from now on. If you don't mind, just call me Uncle Vung. Lee Mew interrupted, winking. Then what should you call me? Sister Twee? Hua Nien laughed heartily. Ha, that's right. We're not much older than your father anyway. Hearing this, Jang Han's eyes brightened, and he hurriedly asked my father, Do you all know my father? The 3 suddenly looked awkward and avoided the question. Hua Nien forced a smile. How would we know your father? I'm just guessing. Ha. Jang Han was briefly disappointed. Trong-dung placed a hand on his shoulder and reminded him, Jang Han, you should go home and rest for a few days until you recover. No use of force allowed. I'll arrange the earliest train for you to return to the city. Jang Han nodded. Yes, it has indeed been many days since I last went home. After Jang Han left, Hua Nien finally spoke up and asked, Is he Than Ka's son? Trong-duong lightly nodded. That's it. Lai Mew nodded firmly, her eyes shining with certainty. This child has the same aura as Than Ka. 7 days later, when the familiar old lady appeared, Jang Han quickly stood up warmly, bringing another bowl of hot porridge to the table. Mrs. To arrived just in time. I just finished cooking dinner. Today's porridge is made from 3 striped spotted deer meat. Please try it and see if it suits your taste. Ha ha! The old lady smiled kindly. This old lady is very easy to please. That's right. I heard you were injured a few days ago. Jang Han replied with a relaxed voice. A few days ago, I encountered a pack of strange beasts in the wild and got slightly injured, but I'm fine now. Mrs. To nodded, her eyes showing admiration. Not bad, little Han. It seems your combat experience is getting richer. Jang Han humbly shook his head. I don't have much experience, but I really want to learn and train more in the wild. After finishing this meal today, I will go back there to do my mission. Mrs. To said thoughtfully with calm but meaningful tone. When training in the wild, experience and combat power are important, but innate attributes are equally crucial. Little Han, what is your innate attribute? Jang Han blankly scratched his head. Innate attribute. You haven't seriously thought about this yet. The old lady smiled and explained, identifying your main attributes early will be very beneficial for improving your combat strength. Jang Han nodded, his eyes brightened. Thank you, Mrs. To. I will remember. Thank you for the porridge. Please be careful in the wild. After saying that, the old lady leisurely left. The next day at Tui Mok University, Trong-duong stood before the new students with a loud voice. You are all freshmen admitted to Tui Mok University. Next, the 4 of us will be responsible for special training for you this year. The training location is a wetland area 600 kilometers away. If there are no issues, we will depart immediately. The freshmen cheered excitedly, and the group started their journey. But shortly after, Jang Han suddenly slowed down, his face thoughtful. Lee Mew noticed he was looking around and teased little Han, This armor looks cool, come with me. Jang Han smiled hesitantly. Lie, sister. Can I leave the team for a moment? I have something to handle. I will come back later. Li Mu scratched her head, hesitating briefly.
This is not impossible.
Please be careful and catch up as soon as possible. Jang Han nodded happily.
Yes, ma'am. But then his face became serious and he quietly left.
Trong Duong approached frowning and asked, Where is Jang Han going? Li Mu replied confidently. Little Han said he has something to do first and will catch up later. Don't worry with Little Han's combat power, there's no danger around here. But when he reached a quiet area, Jang Han stopped. His eyes brightened. He shouted loudly, Little Bach, come out quickly. I'm here to pick you up. After speaking as if sensing something, he turned around abruptly. A giant white tiger suddenly jumped up and pinned Jang Han to the ground, licking his face affectionately. Jang Han laughed out loud joyfully. Ha ha, little Bach, you've grown really fast. In less than half a month, you've become a nearly mature white tiger. Let's go, little Bach, join me for special training. We have to hurry, or we won't catch up with the others. But little Bach doesn't know how to speak human language yet, just obediently meowing like a big cat and trailing behind Jang Han. The whole group marched on under the protection and guidance of the 4 war dukes. Suddenly, a freshman shouted in panic, Look quickly, it seems there's a strange beast charging. The others broke out in cold sweat and quickly turned to look. A giant white tiger appeared huge in size, at least a mid-level beast general. An enthusiastic guy shouted, Let's form a battle formation to eliminate this white tiger and impress the top war dukes. Another person responded confidently, It's just a mid-level beast general. With so many of us, it won't be a problem. But then an astonished voice rang out. Did I see wrong? Is there someone on the back of that white tiger? Another person nodded in agreement. You're right, there really is someone there. What's going on? Has this white tiger been tamed? Another voice interjected hesitantly. What's the point of fighting anymore? You can only subdue a mid-level beast general if you're at least a grand marshal master. Are you looking for death? The white tiger was getting closer and everyone could see more clearly. Sure enough, there was a figure on its back, a female student from Team 5. Eyes lighting up with excitement, Zhao To said, Sister Chi Tuyet is the one who saved us. A female student nearby quickly confirmed in a whisper, That's right, I didn't see wrong. Zhao Gong and Wang Yim saw Jang Han happily run over with surprise in his voice. Jang Han, is this strange beast really only a mid-level beast general? Why do I feel like I'm not even enough to wedge between its teeth? Jang Han laughed loudly in response. Don't worry, my cat has been eating a bit too much lately, that's why it's so big. It's very obedient and won't hurt anyone. Yes, Zhang Yang spoke decisively. All right, quickly. Join your teams and depart. We're still quite far from the target location. Jang Han nodded. Yes, sir. While walking, he turned to ask Zhao Gong, do you know the specific content of this special training session? Zhao Gong shook his head. I don't know, but I've heard this will be a very intense training. Just then, Lam Chi Tweet timidly stepped forward, hesitantly. Jang Han Sr. May I say a few words to you? 2,000,000. Kwong stood nearby, laughing gleefully. Jang Han, since when did you get to know such a beauty? Hehe. Wang Yim quickly pulled Zhao Gong's arm and glared, Let's go, let's move somewhere else, don't be a hindrance. Yes. After a while, Jiang Han suddenly remembered and asked, Are you the female student from the last beast-subduing session? Lam Chi Tweet blushed shyly and bowed her head slightly. Yes, you saved me and Xiao An. I just want to thank you once again, Senior. Jang Han smiled comfortably, pounding his chest confidently. Oh, you don't need to call me Senior. I'm not really a senior or anything. Just call me Jang Han. I was just doing a rescue mission at the time. Then Zhong Yang's voice rang out from the front, calm but full of authority. Ahead is a swampy area. The terrain here changes unpredictably. There are many venomous snakes and dangerous insects. Please be careful. For the next 14 days, the 4 of us Marquis warriors will stay here with full guidance from actual combat and senior warriors. How far you develop all depends on yourselves, the authoritative voice echoed. By the way, don't think that just because you got into Tui Mok University, you can just sit back and relax. Tui Mok's monthly combat ability evaluations are very strict. Those ranked low will still be eliminated as usual. He stopped his gaze, sweeping over the new students before decisively saying, All right, dismissed. Zhao Gong worriedly turned to his teammates. Now our team only has 3 people left. Tu Fong was eliminated. Thuong Hao didn't show up either. What should we do now? Hearing this, Jang Han frowned silently, contemplating. He himself wasn't too worried, but Zhao Gong and Wang Yim were indeed at risk of disadvantage. Just then a voice came from behind. "Classmate Jang Han, do you only have 3 people?" Lam Chi Tweet and 3 other female students approached, smiling warmly. "Do you want to join our team? We can travel together and look out for each other." Jang Han felt a weight lift off his shoulders and smiled. "All right, the 3 of us plus the 4 of you. We can support each other." But Xiao An jumped up excitedly, shouting, "Awesome! Oh, sun god, now I finally have a solid support to rely on." Lam Chi Tweet hurriedly stopped Xiao An. "Don't be silly." Jang Han chuckled softly and suggested, "How about we first get out of here? Find a relatively safe area, then scatter to hunt strange beasts." The whole group nodded, discussing as they walked. Jang Han continued, "The swampy terrain is very complicated with abundant water and dense vegetation. Everyone must be careful when moving. Avoid getting stuck in the mud. Also, this place is full of toxins. The deeper we go, the stronger the toxins become. We cannot go any further. Let's take this spot as the center. Scatter out to hunt strange beasts in pairs. If you encounter danger, shout loudly so your teammates can come to your aid in time." Lam Chi Tuet nodded firmly. "All right, that's a good idea." Tioan quickly seized the opportunity to move closer. "Then I want to go with Senior Jang Han. Is that okay?" Jang Han laughed comfortably. Sure." He turned to the group. "Let's split the 7 of us into 3 groups and disperse." A moment later, while moving, Jang Han curiously asked, "By the way, Tioan, what talent have you awakened?" Tioan replied with a slightly disappointed tone, "Talent rank B, Whisper of the Heart." Jang Han was surprised. "Whisper of the Heart." She sighed with a disappointed expression. "Even though this talent lets me hear the hearts of the mutated beasts, it's useless on the battlefield." "So no one wants to bring me along?" Jang Han shook his head firmly. "That's not right. Tiwang, there's definitely something you haven't fully grasped yet. Your talent seems to have great potential." Suddenly, he stopped, his eyes sharp. "They're here. You watch over Tubuck and be careful. I will clear them out." With that, Jang Han drew the Tai Hondao, darting forward like lightning to slaughter the mutated beasts in front of him. Tiwan stood behind, eyes wide, exclaiming, "Oh, isn't this a bit too strong?" From above, Li Mu watched with admiration, just like Duong Huyen. "These 2 really are monsters." She turned to Trong Duong. "Other students with S-rank talents only have combat power under 10,000. I estimate this kid's combat power is at least 40,000 to 50,000. Trong Duong nodded with a thoughtful look. "Not only that, at just 18 years old, his combat power is almost on par with a Grand Marshal General. It seems the 6th rank reaches the Captain's Marshal Marquis level. At 22 years old, it will be broken." Li Mu suddenly remembered and hurriedly asked, "Right, I heard you've reached the peak of the Marshal Marquis rank, Trong Duong." He nodded calmly. In a few days I will enter the Dimensional Space Gateway. Whether the talent evolves and breaks limits still depends on fate." Li Mu patted his shoulder to comfort him. "Don't worry with your ability, you can definitely do it." Down below, after clearing the mutated beasts, Jang Han turned back decisively. "Tuan, help me clean up the battlefield." Tuan happily ran over excitedly. "All right, leave it to me." But just as she stepped forward, Jang Han suddenly sensed a wave of unease. The ground began to shake violently. Suddenly, a giant deer-headed Keelan snake burst out from underground, flinging everything around with a deafening explosion. Jang Han shouted, "Watch out!" He immediately rushed to grab Tuan and leapt aside to dodge. Turning back to look, both of them were breaking out in cold sweat. In front of them was a deer-headed Keelan snake over 10 meters tall with blazing red eyes, a hornless head, and 6 teeth. Han clenched his teeth, thinking, with a little more time it can molt and become a Jiaolong. Once it becomes a Jiaolong, this mutated beast will likely reach the overlord rank. He furrowed his brows, assessing, "This serpent is currently a high-ranking domain lord. I'm no match for it alone. I have to find a way to retreat." Thinking this, Jang Han firmly grabbed Tuan's arm. "Running away is the best choice, Tuan." While running, he worried silently, "The serpent uses its tongue to scent prey. I just killed quite a few mutated beasts, so I smell like blood. This is a big problem." The deer-headed Keelan snake chased closely without hesitation. Fortunately, with agile movement, Jang Han managed to hug Tioan and jump aside to avoid the serpent's tail strike. Dust rose thickly, accompanied by a terrifying hissing sound. He narrowly escaped death, but before he could steady himself, the serpent swung its tail forcefully toward the two of them. Jang Han frowned, thinking, "This isn't good. If I keep being chased like this, I'll eventually be exhausted and die." He immediately took the Lam Wein blade from his space backpack, activated the 9-fold thunderblade combined with the 1 mind strike, and charged to counterattack, but the furious blow didn't harm the deer-headed Keelan snake at all. Seeing this, Jang Han was horrified, his face pale. "Is the fire really this strong?" Just then the serpent's tail swept from behind. Tioan panicked and shouted, "Brother Jang Han!" At the same time, the others heard the loud noise and hurried over. Seeing the scene, everyone couldn't help but tremble. Lam Chi-Tweet, still confused, asked, "Is this a domain lord-level mutated beast?" Seeing her teammate Tioan called out to Chi-Tweet and ran over, voice frantic and worried, "Jang Han is struggling to hold it off." Sensing the emergency, Lam Chi-Tweet urgently asked Tioan, "Can you control this mutated beast?" Xiaoying tearfully stammered, "This beast is too fierce. I'm afraid I'm going to faint." Lam Chi-Tweet's voice was urgent. "Xiaoying, we don't have much time. You have to try to control it." Then she turned to Vuong Yim, saying, "Can you please use Bamboo Blessing to boost Xiaoying's burst state later?" Vuong Yim nodded. "Got it." Meanwhile, Jang Han was still struggling to resist the explosive power of the Lokthulan Sa, a high-rank beast. Thanks to experience from last time, he didn't dare let his guard down for even a moment. After arranging things, Chu Tuan Lam Chi-Tweet clenched her blade tightly, her eyes resolute as she charged in to support him. Lam Chi-Tweet shouted loudly to draw the attention of the Lokthulan Sa, which was busy fighting Jang Han. The serpent suddenly sensed a presence behind it, immediately turning, its blazing red eyes locked onto her. Realizing it had shifted its target to Lam Chi-Tweet, Jang Han frowned worriedly and shouted, "Be careful!" No sooner had he finished speaking than the Lokthulan Sa let out a deafening roar, opening its mouth wide and lunging straight at Lam Chi-Tweet as if to devour her. The terrifying pressure from this high-rank beast combined with a sonic attack left Lam Chi-Tweet powerless, her whole body trembling, mind blank, with no will to resist. Just as the serpent's sharp teeth were about to bite down, Jang Han dashed forward like a flash of lightning, grabbing her and leaping aside to dodge. His movements were swift and decisive, leaving no time to look back. A loud explosion echoed as the serpent's tail smashed heavily into the ground. Jang Han and the Lokthulan Sa continued their clash, but within minutes the once dense foliage around them was flattened to a barren plain. Just as they were about to charge at each other again, the serpent's expression suddenly changed, and it halted mid-action. From afar, Xiaoying's trembling but determined voice rang out, "Brother Jang Han, Sister Chi-Tweet, I can't hold on much longer. You two need to run." The little girl was using all her strength to wield her innate talent to control the beast. Jang Han's eyes were resolute. In his right hand, he gathered a brilliant electric orb. "You can't escape, but this will be enough." With that, he charged directly at the Lokthulan Sa. The electric orb in his hand swelled, accumulating an intense, overwhelming energy. By the time he reached the serpent, the orb had grown 100 times larger. Jang Han leapt up with all his might and hurled the electric orb straight at the beast's head. A thunderous explosion erupted, shrouding everything in thick smoke and dust. From a distance, Lam Chi-Tweet had to raise her hand to shield herself, murmuring, the energy it creates is terrifying." The moment Jang Han's feet touched the ground, a system notification appeared in his mind. "Congratulations, host, you have slain the high-rank beast Lokthulan Sa. You have earned 115 to 364 experience points." The power of this skill amazed the whole group, and even Vuong Yim was stunned. But at that moment, Xiaoying collapsed from exhaustion after using her innate talent. Lam Chi-Tweet hurried over anxiously. "Xiaoying, what's wrong? What happened?" Jang Han frowned and pressed Chi-Tweet explain it. She replied worriedly, "Maybe just now she used her innate talent to control the high-rank beast, but the gap in combat strength was too great, so she suffered backlash." Though exhausted, Xiaoying still whispered weakly in Lam Chi-Tweet's arms, "Sister Chi-Tweet, I'm still okay." Jang Han couldn't help but shout angrily, "You were way too reckless. This is a high-rank beast. Do you have any idea how dangerous that was?" Lam Chi-Tweet stammered awkwardly, I just wanted to help him." Jang Han calmed down and ignored her, turning to the group with a firm tone. Everyone gather up the beast corpses around here. After that, we'll find a place to rest. The whole team responded with a yes. As night fell, everyone gathered around the campfire to enjoy their meal. Xiaoying munched happily and couldn't stop praising Brother Jang Han. Your cooking skills are even better than your fighting skills. This snake meat tastes amazing. Wang Yim chimed in, nodding. That's true, Captain. This is the best snake meat I've ever tasted. Teacher Lam Chi-Tweet still looked sad while Xiao Ying covered her mouth and whispered to her, Sister Chi-Tweet, don't dwell on that anymore. Brother Jiang Han just doesn't know how to show his feelings or care for others properly. Lam Chi-Tweet stammered softly. Xiao Ying, please stop talking nonsense. Today, I truly didn't handle things well. Suddenly, a cheerful voice rang out from behind. Ha ha, old Jang, you really don't know how to cherish the beautiful things. Jang Han turned around in surprise. How to? Aren't you coming to participate in the training? Li Mu stepped forward from behind with a serious tone, quickly returned to the regular team. Hao, seeing many female students around, couldn't help but pose with hands on hips and declare, How could I miss something like this? After all, I am a warrior. Then he put his arm around Jang Han's shoulder and whispered, Old Jang, why are there so many beauties on the team? Kid, you're pretty impressive. Jang Han shook his head immediately and replied, Don't talk nonsense, we're just teammates. Li Mu cut in with a reminder. The special training mission assigned by the captain to you will begin tomorrow. You'll soon receive the mission details. Jang Han nodded firmly. Yes, ma'am. Thuong Hao raised his eyebrows curiously and asked, Captain, what's going on with this special training mission? Old Jiang. Li Mu turned to explain, It's a special mission prepared by the Ghost Squad for Jang Han. It won't affect your regular entrance exams. Jang Han waved his hand affirmatively. All right, Li, I will definitely complete the training as soon as possible. Thuong Hao widened his eyes in shock. What being assigned by the Ghost Squad? Old Jiang. What are you doing? Jang Han smiled lightly. It's a long story. How to eat something before training. I'll tell you after it's done. Yes. The next day, the whole team continued to split into groups to hunt rare beasts. Jang Han spoke in a calm tone. We'll still split into the original groups. Thuong Hao will go with Wang Yim and a few others. Everyone must prioritize safety and remember to send timely signals in case of emergency. The whole team responded in unison. Yes, understood. After a while, when Jiang Han was moving with Choan and Bak Ho, a voice called out from behind. He turned to see Lam Chi-Tuet approaching with determined eyes. Jiang Han, may I join the special training mission with you? Tiwang exclaimed in surprise, Sister Chi-Tuet. Jang Han explained gently with implication. What I said yesterday was not directed at you. Actually, your strength is already very strong compared to your peers, but Lam Chi-Tuet still firmly repeated, I want to join the special training mission with you, may I? Jang Han asked curiously why she had to participate. You don't need to do this, she replied with sparkling, determined eyes, because I also want to become stronger. At least next time I can help you. Jang Han sighed and explained that the special training mission involves hunting 100 general-level rare beasts, 5 subordinate leaders at intermediate level, and 1 intermediate leader. Even as he spoke until his throat was dry, Lam Chi-Tuet remained unshaken. No matter how difficult the mission is, I am not afraid. Jang Han nodded gently. All right then. It's just that when I go hunting rare beasts, I might not be able to take good care of you and Tioan. She smiled confidently. Don't worry, I can take care of myself and Tioan. Tioan, standing beside her, chimed in excitedly. Yeah. Jang Han turned back, pointing ahead. All right, 30 km ahead is the special training area. Let's not stray too far from the others. Not long after the 3 arrived. This area was full of rare beasts of all levels. As soon as they detected the presence of humans, they growled, baring fangs and brandishing claws. Jang Han did not hesitate and drew his long sword. Lam Yun charged up to gain experience points. He shouted a reminder to seize the time. I'm starting to sweep the rare beasts. You two be careful. Lam Chi-Tuet charged up from behind with blazing momentum. Her eyes filled with determination mixed with killing intent. Tiwang said, I will hunt down and handle the solitary rare beasts on the flanks. Tiwang nodded enthusiastically. Yes, Sister Chi-Tuet. In the blink of an eye, Jang Han had cut 1 rare beast in half. The others growled and rushed to surround him, but he was unfazed. His right hand had already gathered a brilliant lightning orb, moving at lightning speed. He darted through this group of beasts. The lightning orb exploded instantly, leaving them stunned in place. Within just a few breaths, they all fell simultaneously. From above, Duong Huyen silently observed his eyes, showing a mix of astonishment and worry. This kid's lightning power has increased again. He only fears that his current physique won't hold up. He turned to Vuong Kim Ho. Kim Ho, maybe you need to give him some pointers. Vuong Kim Ho nodded, replying, Captain, rest assured. This rough gem, little Han, I will carefully polish it well. Below, bizarre beasts lie scattered everywhere after a fierce battle. Jang Han gasps, his pale face drenched in sweat as if all his strength has been drained. He silently thinks the pain spreading throughout his body is really unpleasant. Lam Chi Tweet notices his condition from behind and runs over in panic. Jang Han, what's wrong with you? Wong Kim Ho slowly approaches his deep voice, explaining that your thunder talent is a double-edged sword. It can cause tremendous damage to enemies, but can easily hurt yourself if you forcibly trigger the thunder beyond your body's limits. You will gradually lose control if you don't regulate your breathing in time. The consequences can leave lasting damage or even worse, sudden death due to blood and energy surging. He looks at Jang Han and orders little Han first sit down and focus on balancing the energy in your body. Jang Han nods obediently and follows the instructions, quickly regulating his breathing. In the blink of an eye, the chaotic energy flows in his body gradually stabilize. Lam Chi Tweet and little An rush over, worriedly asking big brother Jang Han, Are you feeling better? He smiles softly. Much better now, yes. Wong Kim Ho stands by and continues to point out that because your thunder talent is too powerful, your body can't freely expand and contract energy yet. So you must train not only to release, but also to absorb energy. Now try attacking me with thunder and remember to control the energy in your body. He creates a metal shield around himself, challenging, Come on. Yes, Jang Han eagerly replies. He stomps hard, jumps up, swings, his fist releasing thunder power, but is immediately repelled by Wong Kim Ho's defense, staggering and falling down. Kim Ho shakes his head, explaining that although your thunder control has improved, it's not enough to unleash its full violent power. Lu Jang Han asks Uncle Wong, How can I improve my elemental control? Kim Ho replies thoughtfully, Each element has its own life. You must gradually sense and comprehend it. A more systematic knowledge will be taught by the elders at the University of Water and Wood. Whether it's my metal element or your thunder element, every martial artist is measured by their elemental harmony. The higher your elemental harmony, the more proficient you are at controlling that element. Saying that, Kim Ho waves his hand. Try again. Jang Han doesn't hesitate, drawing the Tai Hun blade, channeling thunder power with a burning gaze of determination. He charges forward but is instantly repelled by Kim Ho's defense and falls, muttering, Uncle Wang has awakened a grade S metal talent. His whole body is enhanced by metal element defense is so strong. No wonder he can withstand many times the gravity. Kim Ho says now you can't even break through my defense. That shows your elemental harmony with thunder is still very low. Little An stands aside, amazed, covering her face. Even big brother Jang Han got hurt like that. This great instructor is really formidable. Lam Chi Tweet looks heavily at Jang Han, feeling that having a martial marquis as a mentor really widens the gap between them. 3 days later, Jang Han faces a mid-level Lord-grade strange beast, the eight-eyed, eight-spiked dragon. Despite being called eight-eyed, this beast actually has 6 eyes, all staring fiercely at him. Sharp, gleaming teeth and tough, dark green skin. It moves forward gracefully, but with imposing power. Facing such a beast, Jang Han dares not take it lightly. He tightly grips the Tai Hun blade, activates one heart strike, and 9-fold thunderblade, forming a blazing thunder sphere, then charges straight at the eight-eyed, eight-spiked dragon. The beast roars loudly, opens its mouth wide, bearing fangs and claws in response. But in the blink of an eye, Jang Han's sharp blade slices cleanly through its neck. Blood sprays everywhere. He lands, his eyes flashing with joy. Now I can definitely one-hit kill a mid-level Lord-grade strange beast. Blood sprayed everywhere. He landed on the ground, eyes flashing with joy. Now I can one-hit kill a mid-level beast lord. The training over the past few days really paid off. From above, Wang Jinhu observed in amazement, nodding, This kid truly is a demon. Though he received some guidance in just 3 short days, he controlled the lightning element to this level. Li Chongyang stood nearby calmly. Don't praise him so quickly, the best is yet to come. Wang Jinhu asked curiously, The best? Zhang Yang smiled mysteriously. All right, watch closely. The show is about to begin. Below, Jang Han had just stored the Great Soul Blade into his spatial storage and was about to collect the loot to sell for money when the ground suddenly shook violently. He frowned, thinking silently, what's going on? Before he could understand, a thunderous explosion echoed. A giant beast burst through the earth and snapped up the corpse of the one-eyed Baku River dragon. In an instant, Jang Han reacted quickly, raising his hand to shield his face and jumping back to dodge. Calmly looking back, he couldn't help but feel horrified, his face turning pale. This is a supreme-level beast. Before him stood a massive thunder-Kirin dragon, its huge body like an ocean compared to a ditch. Its overwhelming aura made one shiver without feeling cold. Although he had fought supreme beasts before, Jang Han still felt terrified. It opened its mouth wide, revealing sharp teeth, let out a roar, then swung its giant wing toward him. Jang Han struggled to dodge, gritting his teeth, thinking, how can this be? Weren't all the supreme beasts already cleared out by Li Zhongyang and the others? As he took to the air, the long, heavy tail of the Thunder-Kirin dragon swept toward him at a terrifying speed. Unable to dodge in time, Jang Han was knocked away, sprawling onto the ground. Fortunately, it was just a light collision with no internal injuries. Jang Han scratched his head in frustration. Li Zhongyang is here, yet a supreme beast shows up. Seems like the cleanup wasn't done well at all. Li Zhongyang nearby replied calmly. This Thunder-Kirin dragon just recently upgraded to Supreme. I purposely kept it for you. Hearing this, Jang Han broke out in a cold sweat and shouted at the two, what? Kept for me, uncle? Don't joke like that. At Supreme level, less than 2 moves and I'd be crushed to powder. Li Zhongyang smiled, eyes shining with expectation. I'm not joking. This is your final test. Only by killing it will your special test be considered complete. The Thunder-Kirin dragon saw its prey chatting idly, roared angrily, mouth wide open, and charged at Jang Han at terrifying speed. He hurriedly ran for his life, shouting as he ran, is this a mistake? I'm just a C-tier gifted examinee, but Uncle arranged a supreme beast for this test. Are you trying to kill me? You guys should help me capture it instead. Li Zhongyang and Wang Jinhu followed behind, calmly observing. Zhongyang reassured, don't worry. We all know your strength, you won't die. Wang Jinhu laughed loudly. Ha ha! Little Han, don't forget the first iron rule of the wilderness. Jang Han quickly asked, Uncle Wang, what iron rule? Jinhu flew past, leaving 5 short words. If you can't win, run. Hearing this, Jang Han muttered bitterly, right when it's life or death, you're teasing me. What do you think I'm doing running till I break my legs? He kept running, the Thunder-Kirin dragon chasing closely behind. The two created an intense chase scene. Dust rose thickly, covering the entire road. Jang Han shouted for help. Uncle Wang, this Thunder-Kirin dragon is also lightning element. It's too fast, how can I escape? Boo-hoo. Yes. Wang Jinhu activated his metal defense layer voice, challenging, Little Han, come on and show how much you've improved these days. Jang Han regained composure, drew the Great Soul Blade, confidently replied, Uncle Wang, you have to be careful this time. Before Jinhu could say more, Jang Han held the blade in one hand, gathered a lightning orb in the other. In a flash, he leapt up, combining the heavy thunderblade strike with the heart unity strike, unleashing full power to slash the thunder orb forward. When the blade collided with the defense layer, a thunderous explosion erupted. The large thunder orb immediately split into countless small thunder orbs, linking together into a thunder net that shot straight toward Wang Jinhu. The crackling sounds of electric currents continuously rang through the air. Jinhu watched in amazement. This kid actually merged 2 talents, adjusted the energy form to break through my defenses. The comprehension ability is truly terrifying. But just as he was thinking this, the thunder net attacked and shattered his defense. Jinhu let out a grunt and collapsed to the ground. Jang Han was shocked and stunned. Uncle Wang, you're not dead, right? Jinhu didn't expect Jang Han's fighting power to be so strong, scratching his head and laughing loudly. Ha ha ha! Han the kid isn't bad. Just a few short days and he's already broken through my defenses. He praised, all thanks to your guidance, Uncle. Metal really is the best conductor for lightning. From behind, Li Zhongyang kept clapping, his voice full of praise. Not bad. In just 10 short days, you've made remarkable progress. Your current fighting power can basically be ranked among the marshal marquee. Hearing this, Jang Han immediately thought of revenge. His eyes shining as he asked, "Do you think I can already defeat that thunder-killing dragon?" "Yes," Li Zhongyang said, eyes full of hope as he looked at Jang Han, his voice firm. "If it's not dead, then you are. Good luck." To be sure, Jang Han opened the system info panel and quickly scanned his stats. Jang Han, combat power 71, 230, level 15 strength, 809, agility, 700 stamina, 801 spirit, 785 experience points, 16, 233 out of 50,000. Thunder talent level S level 4, insight level S level 2, 1 mind strike level B max. Mastery of Thundernet 2662 out of 160,000, insight 12235 out of 20,000. Martial skill 9-fold thunderblade earth level top quality max. System space 54 out of 81. Current mission 10,000 slaughters 9, 568 out of 10,000. Pet little white. Internal energy reserve none. After reviewing, Jang Han confidently raised his head, eyes resolute. "Thunder-killing dragon, I'm coming. A gentleman takes revenge within 3 days, it's never too late." Fueled with determination, he tightly gripped the Tyhoon blade and marched straight to the beast's territory, loudly challenging, "Thunder-killing dragon, come out if you dare!" Without another word, the massive thunder-killing dragon descended from above, dust swirling everywhere. Without hesitation, Jang Han unleashed his secret move. Combining 9-fold thunderblade and 1 mind strike, he summoned brilliant thunder orbs as the thunder-killing dragon roared and swept its huge wings. He leapt up and slashed out a thunder net to surround the beast. "You also get a taste of my thunder net." Shouting, he continuously created more thunder nets to attack without pause. The thunder-killing dragon screamed in pain, its roar shaking the earth and sky. From afar, Li Miao watched in undisguised amazement. This kid, in just half a month, can already challenge a supreme-level beast, truly a monster. Zhang Yang raised an eyebrow, speaking thoughtfully. "Its current combat power has reached great martial general level. It's only a matter of time before it surpasses us." Li Miao's eyes glistened with tears. If Cheng Ge could see this, he'd surely be very happy. Zhang Yang nodded softly. "Yeah. It's time for little Han to head to the front line to meet Yang Xuan." Meanwhile, Jang Han dodged and attacked continuously. The thunder-killing dragon was gradually corroded by the thunder net, its movements slowing. He laughed triumphantly. "You're already worn out and have no strength left." Beast. Aiming at the weak spot, he unleashed a fatal strike that pierced through the beast's body, finishing it off. The system immediately notified, "Congratulations, host. You have completed the mission. 10,000 slaughters by killing the supreme-level beast, receiving 1 talent slot reward." The mission automatically advanced to the next stage. New mission 2 La. Eliminate 100,000 beasts with combat power, no less than 5,000 reward 1 talent slot. Talent upgrade card 1 slot. Seeing the notification, Jang Han couldn't help but laugh out loud. "Ha, another talent slot added." Li Miao and Zhong Yang flew over. Li Miao patted his shoulder in praise. "Well done, little Han." Jang Han replied happily, "Thanks, Sister Li." Zhong Yang said seriously, "Little Han, you've completed your training goals early. You can return to the front line to rest. Yang Xuan wants to see you." Zhang Han was surprised. "Captain Yang Xuan wants to see me. What about the other classmates?" Zhang Yang shook his head. "You don't need to worry about that." Li Miao tossed him a ring engraved with the character Wu and said with a smile, "Little Han, keep this as a gift from us. To the spoil line, then do some shopping." Jang Han happily accepted. "Thank you, Sister Lai, I will make good use of it." At the steel defense line of the trading post, bustling with extraordinary talents, Jang Han nodded as he entered. Captain Duong Huyen told me to come here to liquidate some items." Duong Van was amazed when she saw the spoils he carried. "Oh my God, I didn't expect there to be so many documents and mutated beast corpses." Manager Hua, standing nearby, also gawked. "So many mutated beast corpses. Quite a few of them are overlord level. How long did it take to hunt this many?" Duong Van quickly turned and ordered, "Quickly check and give the best price for young friend Jang Han." Manager Hua immediately started inventory and reported with a trembling voice, "Intermediate overlord mutated beast Van Duke Kim Van Ho, 108,000. Intermediate overlord, 3-headed, Than Zhao, 113,000. Lower level beast king,
Thuong Boi Hung, 347,000, and many others.
Duong Van kindly spoke young friend Jang Han. There are too many materials. Careful inventory will take some time. Please come over here and sit. I have some news to share. Jang Han curiously. Oh, what news? She spoke as they walked. Didn't you used to sell the Kim K gold mine? It has now been taken over by the Hangvu Corporation. Jang Han nodded. Oh, I heard that's the largest business corporation in Lam Tin City. Duong Van continued. That's right. Hangvu's annual income reaches 10 billion. Currently, they hope you will invest not only in the gold mine, but also in all the corporation's projects. Jang Han was surprised. His eyes brightened. Investing. Is it really that good? This Hangvu Corporation is truly interesting. Yes. After a while of inventory, Manager Hua returned to report young friend Jiang Wei have finished checking. There are a total of 17 overlord-level mutated beasts, including 10 lower-level overlords, 5 intermediate overlords, and 2 high-level overlords. Total price, 136,000. In addition, 3 lower-level beast kings are priced at 1,700,000. Adding them all up, the total price is 3,879,000 Vietnamese dong. Hearing the amount, Jang Han was stunned, sweat breaking out. 3 billion, right? Are you sure there's no mistake? Duong Van smiled reassuringly. Don't worry. Manager Hua never makes mistakes. If there's no problem, you just need to sign and receive the money immediately. Manager Hua handed over the pen warmly. Young friend Jiang, you're young but very promising. In the future, if you have business, please consider us a bit. Then Jang Han happily replied, Thank you, Manager Hua. After signing the contract, he handed it back to Duong Van. She politely thanked him, hoping Mr. Jiang would come again next time. After receiving the money, Jang Han left excitedly thinking, Captain Duong Huyen told me to come, but why hasn't he shown up? Just then, as if Cao Cao had mentioned, a message from Duong Huyen appeared. After passing the evaluation, Great Marshal General, come see me. Jang Han immediately seized the opportunity to enhance his combat power using the talent slot item. System notification. Congratulations, the signer has obtained S-level life talent. He was silently surprised, awakening the S-level life talent. But the growth range of this talent directly improves his own attributes, resulting in combat power soaring nearly 20,000. He opened the signer info panel. Jang Han combat power 90, 056, level 15 strength, 1, 409 agility, 1, 313 stamina, 1, 801 spirit, 1, 285 experience, 32, 265 out of 50,000. Thunderstorm talent S level 4. Insight S level 2. Life S level 1. Mind Union Strike B level max. Thunderstorm proficiency 2, 662 out of 160,000. Insight 12, 235 out of 20,000. Life not over 1,000. Mind Union Strike. Max martial skill, 9 layers, thunderblade. Earth level top quality, max. System space 78 out of 100. Current mission 2 La 7 out of 100,000. Pet show by Raj Energy Reserve 10-1-951-978. Jang Han was secretly delighted, didn't expect basic attributes to increase so much. Each type increased by more than 500 vitality points. Recovery and poison resistance abilities were also significantly improved. With this condition passing, the Great Marshal General evaluation should be as easy as turning one's hand. At the Martial Artists Guild, someone looked at him in surprise. Is that you? Didn't you just arrive not long ago? Why come back so soon? Jang Han smiled. Oh, I'm here to participate in the Great Marshal General Capability Evaluation. Hearing this, the person widened their eyes in confusion, flipped the registration paper and shouted, What Great Marshal General? Not long ago you just passed the Marshal General level. So quickly you've come back to participate in the Grand Marshal General Evaluation already. Are you kidding me? Jang Han calmly nodded. Yes, that's right. I came to try my luck. The other person pointed at a door, still doubtful. The martial arena for the Grand Marshal General Evaluation is this way. Jang Han cheerfully walked forward, not forgetting to turn back. All right, thanks a lot. Watching his back, the other man muttered, Young people these days really are reckless. Opening the door and stepping inside, Jang Han couldn't help but be surprised. Inside, a strong man was straining to lift weights, muscles bulging. As soon as he saw Jang Han, the man spoke up. Hey kid, you're in the wrong place. Finishing his words, he successfully lifted the weights, revealing his muscular build. Jang Han asked in confusion. Isn't this the place for the Grand Marshal General test? The man, still fiddling with the weights, replied disdainfully. Yes, if you can endure 5 minutes without me knocking you down, you pass the test. But obviously, kid, you're not old enough. Jang Han smiled brightly. Oh, then let me see how strong you really are. Seeing his enthusiasm, the man frowned and shouted, rotten. Kid tired of living already. With that, he threw the weight straight at Jang Han. A loud explosion rang out, and Jang Han quickly jumped back to dodge, looking at the spot where he'd been standing, now shattered into a pile of dirt and rocks. Jang Han thought to himself, I thought this weightlifter was just muscles, didn't expect him to be this strong. In the blink of an eye, the man appeared right in front of him, swinging his fist. Jang Han gritted his teeth, cold sweat dripping quickly, ducking to avoid the punch. The strong man praised in a low voice, rotten kid, your skills aren't bad, but that's not enough. Jang Han felt secretly pleased. No matter what, this guy couldn't be stronger than Vung Kim Ho. Just as his opponent prepared to throw a third punch, a brilliant lightning flash erupted, light flickering throughout the room, thunder crashing, accompanied by the smell of singed hair. With a lightning-charged punch, Jang Han knocked the strong man unconscious. He chuckled softly. Heh, victory. The other guy murmured drowsily. How is this possible? The power of this punch even surpassed that of a Marshal Marquis. The system voice announced, Grand Marshal General Test passed. Jang Han thought to himself, easily passed the Grand Marshal General Test. Exiting the arena still excited, he clenched his fists, humming as he walked. Who doesn't want to be strong and shine everywhere? From afar, Tien An Kwok quietly watched as a subordinate ran over to report. I just found out this kid passed the Grand Marshal General evaluation. Tien An Kwok clenched his fists, face filled with killing intent. This kid really has superior talent, but unfortunately he's my sworn enemy. He silently vowed, Fong Yi, wait a little longer. I will make sure Jang Han is buried with your child. Not long after, Jang Han returned to the talent exchange and upon entering Dung Vun, greeted warmly Jang Tiu-hu. You're back so soon, do you need anything? He answered, Oh, actually, I'm in need of a weapon of mass destruction. Dung Vun was surprised, a weapon of mass destruction, like a thermal weapon. Jang Han scratched his head awkwardly. Yes, the price isn't an issue. She looked embarrassed. It's not about the price. Weapons of mass destruction aren't sold to warriors below the Marshal Marquis level. Jang Han was puzzled. There's such a rule. Dung Vun added, but if you need it. Jang Tiu-hu, we can sell it on the condition that we report to General Dung. Is that okay? He happily agreed. No problem. Dung Vun pulled out a blueprint and explained, This is a mutant bomb, a high-grade thermal weapon for Marshal Marquis. It's only used in cases of large-scale beast outbreaks when high-level combat power isn't enough. Yes, Jang Han immediately agreed. All right, I'll take it. Dung Vun smiled brightly and told the staff, Take Jang Tiu-hu to receive the goods and register. The staff replied, Yes, Madam Dung. Watching Jang Han's back, Dung Vun quietly ordered, Arrange for my Tom to follow him, assist immediately if there's trouble. The staff nodded. Yes, ma'am. That night, Jang Han left the base and went deep into the wilderness thinking, We've come this far. Why hasn't there been any action yet? Suddenly, a sword shot towards him. He leaned aside to dodge, eyes coldly fixed on the sword. Finally taking action, a shadow appeared from behind Tien An Kwok, shouldering a coffin holding a long sword, slowly advancing. The old man slammed the coffin down, his eyes bloodshot, filled with murderous intent, raising his blade to point directly at Jiang Han, your too arrogant kid. Without Li Zhongyang protecting you today, I'll bury you alongside Fong Yi. As expected, Jang Han calmly took off his backpack, his voice cold. I had other things to do, but you just boldly came here to act. Tien An Kwok raised his hand and unleashed the heaven-cleaving blade, instantly covering a vast space with sharp blade energy. The old man strained his voice as if certain of Jang Han's fate. Ignorance always comes with a price. You won't escape. I'll give you a chance to commit suicide. Luke Jiang Han sneered coldly in contempt. You made your own mess, and now you want compensation. Ugly and playing the villain. Tien An Kwok clenched his teeth, bloodshot eyes bulging, shouting loudly. Seeking death. He swung his blade, sending 2 streams of sharp blade energy straight at Jiang Han. even if you passed the Grand Marshal General's test facing a Marshal Marquis in strength. You're still just a lost soul under my blade. Tien An Quoc shouted fiercely, murderous intent filling the air. Jang Han didn't dare be careless. He quickly jumped aside to dodge. At the spot he just stood, the blade energy struck, causing rocks and earth to explode with terrifying force. In the blink of an eye, another stream of blade energy rushed in, forcing him to jump up, struggling to evade. Within the blade domain, the old man could freely control the direction of the blade energy. Even though Jang Han dodged, Tien An Quoc easily redirected his attack. In this life-or-death moment, Jang Han gritted his teeth, his eyes resolute. If I can't avoid it, then I'll face it head-on. He hurriedly gathered all his power to resist. After several breaths, the overwhelming blade energy knocked him back, forcing him to plant the soul-subduing blade into the ground and slide a long way before stopping. Tien An Quoc mocked, "Kid, you actually have some skill. If you still stubbornly refuse to commit suicide, then I'll have to give you a hand." With that, he swung his blade from above, sending countless blade energies trailing straight toward Jang Han. Despite having fought many battles before the blade domain and overwhelming strength, he could only passively defend. The blade energies flashed by. Though not hitting vital points, they left many cuts on his body, blood oozing and spreading. This old fiery guy is really hard to deal with. I underestimated him. At that moment, Tien An Quoc joined. Two blades leapt up and unleashed a critical strike with a roar. "Die, little devil, and be buried with my Fong Ni." Jang Han was helpless, only able to close his eyes and watch the blade coming at him. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot from somewhere, breaking through the blade domain, passing instantly to the left of Tien An Quoc. Everything happened too fast. The old man only had time to utter one word. The blade dropped freely, stabbing into the ground. He panicked as he realized his arm had been severed, blood spraying everywhere. Tien An Quoc stammered with a trembling voice. "It's the god of war. Why have I offended him anywhere?" Jang Han also looked up in surprise, seeing an old woman holding a dragon staff. Her face icy-cold eyes standing solemnly in mid-air as her figure gradually appeared. She spoke firmly. The two young ladies ordered to protect Jang Han and eliminate any threats to his life. After speaking, the dragon staff in her hand shot out a burst of power aimed straight at Tien An Quoc. The old man frantically begged, "Please spare me, have mercy, please have mercy." Li Zhongyang quickly flew over shouting, "My Tom, please spare Tien An Quoc's life." This Marshal Marquis was deliberately kept by the captain to test Jang Han. He thought silently, another test again, but the power from the dragon staff was already rushing forward. In an instant, Tien An Quoc's entire body turned into a stone statue. Jang Han gasped in horror. Li Zhongyang couldn't stop it in time and tugged his head and ears, mumbling as he looked at the statue, "Ah, truly reaping what you sowed. Tien An Quoc can't die yet. Now the only way is to take this statue to a temple for offering." Mai Tom coldly replied to Li Zhongyang, "I only act under the orders of the two young ladies." He threatened Jang Han's life and must die. Saying this, she quickly left. Jang Han stared blankly at Li Zhongyang, urgently asking Uncle Li, "What the hell is going on? Who is that old lady? Why does she want to protect me? Also, who are the two young ladies she mentioned?" Li Zhongyang sighed helplessly. "You asked so many questions all at once, I don't even know where to start." "Just get up first." Li Zhongyang helped Jang Han up, his voice steady. "The captain is over there. Go ask him yourself." Seeing him still at a loss, the two moved toward Dung Huyen together. Seeing Li Zhongyang's seven-spirit appearance, Dung Huyen asked suspiciously, "Trong Dung, what's wrong? Your expression looks terrible." Li Trong Duong quickly regained his composure, frowned, and replied, "Tien An Quoc is dead." Duong Huyen was shocked. "What? Dead? Why did he die?" Trong Duong recounted, "It was Mai Tom who killed him while protecting Jang Han." Jang Han couldn't hold back his emotions and loudly questioned Uncle Duong. "Why would Mai Tom want to protect me? Who are the two young ladies she mentioned? What exactly is the relationship between you uncles and me?" Duong Huyen avoided the question, turning his head aside. I'll tell you everything slowly after the special training ends." Suddenly, Lai Mu hurried over, yelling, "Captain, something's wrong! Something happened!" Her voice was urgent. Duong Huyen anxiously asked, "Is this at the special training area?" Li Mu hurriedly explained, "That's right. According to the current information, a large-scale beast wave has just appeared, including one beast, King, level 5 beast Lord level, and over 10 overlord level rare beasts. The Special Reconnaissance Squad of Tuimak University is trapped. Jang Han suspected silently, isn't the Special Reconnaissance Squad of Tuimak University actually Kwang Chi and Gu's team? Duong Huyen decisively ordered Trong Duong quickly gather the members to organize a rescue. Lai Trong Duong nodded respectfully. Yes, Captain. Seeing everyone preparing to leave, Jang Han hurried to follow. I want to join too. Duong Huyen frowned and stopped him. No, the rare beasts in this battle are too dangerous. No one can help you. Besides, there's even a Beast King level. We can barely guarantee our own safety. Li Trong Duong also quickly announced and summoned all members of the Ghost Squad to the special training area. Jang Han's mind was flooded with images of Kwang Chin Gu, the man who once taught him the ninefold thunderstrike martial skill. With resolute heroism, he declared, I am already a member of the team, so I have the right to participate in the rescue. Furthermore, I have reasons to go. I must go. Yes, faced with his firm attitude, Duong Huyen had no choice but to nod, placing a hand on his shoulder. All right, follow Team 5, but you must protect yourself. Jang Han was delighted. Yes, I understand. Shortly after, everyone gathered and quickly flew towards the Special Reconnaissance Squad. In the sky, thick black clouds gathered, lightning flickered, and light rain fell. The presence of the Beast King caused strange phenomena, swirling black clouds spreading wide. Li Trongdung's expression was solemn. Jang Han, even I'm not sure we can defeat a Beast King level. When we arrive, you must control yourself and not act rashly to avoid disaster. Duong Huyen also reminded, I remember. In the distance, 100-meter-long black dragon appeared among the dark clouds, lightning covering it, revealing a huge head exuding a terrifying, oppressive aura. Duong Huyen stopped and shouted, It's a Beast King! Jang Han looked anxiously, clutching his head in pain. Duong Huyen hurried over to remind him, Calm your mind and spirit, don't look directly at it. Lai Mu shouted towards the black dragon, It's the four-winged Black Dragon King, a rare beast king with 2 wings. It can not only summon dark clouds, but also attack souls. Trong Duong wondered, didn't this guy originally live in the deep sea? Now he's appearing here. After Duong Huyen's explanation, Jang Han withdrew his gaze, no longer daring to look straight. Duong Huyen helped him up and kindly advised, no matter what happens in the sky later, don't worry about it. I will try to hold it off. Everyone quickly rescue the students and retreat as soon as possible. The whole team charged forward without hesitation, ready for battle. Suddenly, Duong Huyen turned to Jang Han. Later, temporarily lend me the Kai armor that Lai Mu prepared for you. Then Jang Han asked in confusion, What did you say? But at that moment, Duong Huyen had no time to explain. In the distance, a group of students were surrounded by rare beasts. A female voice reassured, The distress signal has been sent. The rescue team will arrive soon. Everyone hold on. A student pointed and shouted, Teacher, look! The reinforcements are here. 6 figures rushed over from afar, led by Jang Han. Duong Huyen donned the shining Kai armor. The spear aimed directly at the 4-winged Black Dragon King. Jang Han thought silently. Is that the armor Uncle Duong just mentioned? Duong Huyen loudly assigned, Kim Ho Huan Yin, support everyone to evacuate. Leave the Black Dragon King to me. Huan Yin didn't hesitate, clasped his hands, and activated his talent. A brilliant, radiant light enveloped his whole body and immediately spread out to protect the students. System notification. Received blessing aura from Huan Yin. Strength increased by 274%. Agility increased by 312%. Recovery ability, talent control, poison resistance, and many other attributes doubled. Although Jang Han possessed the system, he couldn't help but be amazed. I didn't expect so many states to increase simultaneously. Just then, a mutated beast lunged toward the group of students with its mouth wide open. Jang Han drew the thigh-hon blade and, swift as lightning, sliced the beast in 2 as he passed by. He turned around and shouted loudly, The Black Dragon King has been held back by the captain. Everyone quickly evacuate toward the southeast. The old teacher immediately spoke up to thank everyone.
Students follow me to assist the injured and evacuate together. Jang Han looked around but didn't see Kung Chi-ngu's figure, anxiously asking, "Has anyone seen Kung Chi-ngu?"
A female student frowned and pointed in a direction. "We split into small groups to escape. Kung Chi-ngu's group ran that way, but we don't know where they are now." Jang Han nodded. "Got it." He immediately rushed off silently, thinking, "Kung Chi-ngu, you must hold on." Meanwhile, Kung Chi-ngu's group was surrounded by mutated beasts. The situation was extremely critical. The girl gritted her teeth and frowned, thinking, "This isn't good. If this continues, everyone will die." A male student spoke up. "Chi-ngu, we have to find a way to break the siege." She responded in a desperate tone. "Yeah, even if only one person escapes, it's better than all dying." The whole group shouted in unison, "All right, let's charge together." While focusing on fighting, Kung Chi-ngu didn't notice a mutated beast lunging straight at her, sharp fangs and claws flashing in the shadows.